Fucking roll up on me right when I try to go. That's how this shit always go. Fucking Smith, man. Fucking stupid shit. Oh man, this dumbass shit. Fuck. They got all type of shit on this motherfucker. Damn. What's that? Fuck. This is some stupid shit, man. This is stupid shit. Oh, this is fuck. This is stupid shit. I can't even flip this bitch. Can I do this? Can I do it? Oh shit, I can do it. Alright. And Twitter talks, what up, what up, what up? Can we do this shit? Hold on, nah, man. Hold on, man. Too much. Hold on, this is dumb shit. This is Smith shit. It's Smith Day. You can see. Turn this shit down. What up, what up, what up? Oh, wait, hold on, man. What the fuck? Alright. Alright, how you get this shit off the screen? There we go. What up, people? And Twitter talks. What's good? What's good? Big moves, big moves, big moves. Like I said, I grew my shit up. I gotta shave this shit off. And then let it grow. Today's show is brought to you by Patroni Patron. I was sipping some Spade earlier. That shit's done. Where have I been? I've been to Mars and back. Trust me, it's Aries season. It's Mars. It's I've been working. I've been making big moves, man, big moves, big moves. Y'all gonna see real soon too. I've been making really big moves. You know, and I ain't just been talking. I've been making moves, and it's coming though. It's coming. It's coming. I'm very tempted to go show y'all, but I ain't gonna do that. But I'm very tempted to go show y'all like what I've been working on. But it's coming. Like this whole like mind you, I've been saying this for a long time. I know I probably sound like I'm full of shit, but I'm trust me, I'm not. Like this whole platform is gonna change very soon. It's just we've been laying a lot of groundwork, and it's been going on way longer than I thought it would. But it's still coming. Believe it or not, this channel is still in beta. Yeah. The whole set, the whole background, everything is gonna be on. That's what we're building, the whole platform for this channel. You know, it's coming. It's coming. It's just a lot. But when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I see. You know, it's coming. What the fuck is this shit I'm listening to? I don't even listen to this shit. But hell yeah, let me take some of this shit. You want to contact me for an interview? Man, I usually don't do interviews, but you know, you can email me. I don't want to be like that either, cause I don't want to sound like that either. But like normally I don't do interviews, but I would like to see what you got going on. Maybe I could be a part of it, you know. But it's my email is kungblao@hotmail.com. KUNGBLAO at hotmail.com. Kungblao@hotmail.com. You know what I'm saying? Send me a couple of Kevin. What up, bro? What up? Send me a couple of links. You know, to your show. If you could, France. I've been to France before, bro. I've been to Marseille. I've been to Marseille. Um, Send me a couple links of your show if you got some, so, or if you just starting up, that's cool too, But if you got some, send me that off rip so I can listen to what you got going on. You never been to Marseille? Marseille the shit, bro. I've been to Paris too. I've been to Marseille. What was that other city we went to? I can't even think of the name of that shit, man. What was the name of that city? Marseille was the shit though, bro. We was oh damn he okay. Marseille. No, I shouldn't even be saying this probably on here, but Marseille. I had the first time I had the experience of having sex outside on a beach in front, like it was like a nude beach. I said, why am I? I haven't even thought it yet. But like, I would. It was the first time I ever been to a nude beach, and like it was people just walking around butt ass naked. And mind you, the girl I went, what I'm saying, she wasn't from France. She was Cape Verdean. I don't know if you know what Cape Verdean is, but like it's. I was living in Providence, Rhode Island, and they got these group of girls called Cape Verdean, and they speak French. It's like an island off the west coast of Africa. You know what I'm saying? And her mom lived in France because she met some French dude and moved to France. So me and her flew to France to go visit her mom. And we was out there for like a month, and she was like fucking 2 minutes away from like this nude beach. It was the wildest shit I ever seen in my life. And like we used to go over there all the time. Like people just walk around naked, and it was nothing. And we ended up having sex out there. Like mind you, people used to have sex out there all the time, like right there in the open. People just walking around just having sex. Like people getting dome blowjobs and stuff right there, right there in front of you, right there on the beach. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. But then like I realized I was corny. I was corny for reacting the way I was reacting. They were like, yo, man, like get your shit together. Yeah, this happened. It was like, yo, I was like, oh shit, like fuck, like oh, right, don't. I had to keep my composure. I was losing my composure, and it was fucking with me. But yeah, then I had one of the craziest experiences of my life was actually doing that shit. And mind you, like I was having what's that shit? I couldn't even get aroused because there was so many people like walking around and shit. I couldn't even. I was like, man, this shit is not for me. This shit is definitely not for me. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, that was my Marseille trip. I went to Marseille. Shit was crazy. Shit was fucking crazy. But yeah, we making big moves, man. Big moves. I hope y'all making big moves too, man. Like, that's why I ain't been on here much. I just want to come on here and talk to y'all and let y'all know I'm still alive and shit. But I'm making very big moves. Very big moves. No, it's something I actually trying to forget, bro. I try to forget that shit. I don't. I ain't even. I've never even. I don't think I've ever even told that story before. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I don't even. That was some fucking fuck shit. That was some stupid shit. But yeah, Marseille was the shit though. But man, I really wish I could show y'all what I got going on, man, because it's coming very soon. And I know y'all gonna be like, what the fuck? It's gonna be, yo, this channel go. I swear to God, like, the whole channel gonna change. It's gonna be a whole different lick. Damn, man, it's the last of my Patron. I think I had like 2 more bottles. Yeah, that part. Yeah. It happens, though. It happens to the best of us. I'm not, everybody thinks at some point, I would like to have sex in a room full of people, like an orgy or some shit like that. But, like, trust me, man, I've seen that multiple times. You try to do some shit like that, and like a lot of guys can't perform in situations like that. This happened to me multiple times. Back in the day, fucking the whole room full of people having sex, and you fall into this weird zone when you can't even get aroused and shit. It happens a lot. Especially if you're spiritual, it happens more. It happens more time often than not. And same thing too. Like certain scenarios, like man, what's that movie? What was that movie? Zohan. You will not disrespect the Zohan. Some shit like that. It was an Adam Sandler movie called Zohan. But he was like he went to go. He was having sex with a lot of women. And then he met a girl he fell in love with, and he couldn't get aroused and shit. And he was trying to have sex with him, and he couldn't get it up. And then they said something similar in that movie. They were like, yeah, that's kind of what happened. Like if you got a conscience, what I'm saying, or if you got like some type of spirituality, what I'm saying, shit like that happen to you all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's not nothing to be fucking ashamed of, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you got spirituality, you know what I'm saying? You really should be proud of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It'll actually save you from a lot of bullshit, in certain scenarios like that. It happens all the time. I was just talking to my friend about this shit, man. Like, you know, because like a lot of guys, man, like I used to coach guys. Mind you, like every now and then, like I get some people hit me up and they ask me for advice. But I used to coach a lot of guys for like fucking pickup arts and shit and how to date women and shit like that. They used to ask me for like threesome routines, like how to initiate a threesome and shit, you know, because like a lot of people don't know how to, like you sitting there with two women, you know what I'm saying? You like, okay, like how the fuck am I going to initiate? But to like people, guys get cold feet, approach anxiety, shit like that. They don't even know how to initiate no shit like that. So like, I fucking guys ask me how to initiate a threesome and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta when you explain to them, you know what I'm saying? And like you, they be like, oh my god, I never even thought of that. You hear this shit all the time. Oh my god, I never even thought of that. Yeah, but yeah, man, do it like that. Like, okay, and then they'll do it, and it'll play out perfect, and then they won't even get aroused. You know, so they'll come back and tell me like, man, I did that shit you told me. Oh yeah, how'd it go? Yeah, man, it went perfect. It went perfect, but I'm like, you couldn't get it up, could you? They be like, how the fuck did you know that? I'm like, yeah, I know. This is part of the. This is part of the fucking. It's the it's how it be. It happens all the time and shit. You know, so. But yeah, some guys, if you ain't got no conscience, you might be going through something, you be, bing, get right in there, no problem. Oh my God, I forgot. Hold on. What the fuck? Oh, okay, it's on. That's on. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, that's on the compilation. Man, I love that beat. That's a Prodigy beat from Mobb Deep and shit. But yeah, I'm still alive, man. I'm here. I'm fucking alive. I'm right here. I got 10 toes, 10 fingers. I'm fucking alive. I got a beard and shit, man. Fucking alive, bro. It's fucking big moves. I got a grenade and shit, bro. A fucking grenade, bro. I got fucking got a blunt like that shit. You know what the fuck we do? Hell yeah. What the fuck y'all doing, man? What y'all up to? Fuck y'all up to? I think I showed y'all this before, right? The Dasani bottle, right? I showed y'all this, right? Kev, yeah, I remember you, Kev. You fell off the. I think you was a Gemini or some shit like that. You fell off the face of the earth. Nah, this ain't real. This is a motherfucking stash box. This is where you put the weed at. See, I think I showed y'all this shit before, right? You put the weed in here. Drop that motherfucker right in here. Oh, right. Of course. Right, okay. My bad. I got it twisted. Yeah, you was back in the day though. That was a while ago. That was a while. That was right when I first started getting this channel up. Put your weed right in here. Screw this shit up just like this. Bam. Police pull you over like, man, just fucking water, bro. Yeah, I remember. I think I remember you telling me that. I could be mistaken. Put your weed right in there like that. Ta-da. Mm. All right. Got like one up. Man, I know y'all been following this shit about Derek Jackson. If y'all haven't, y'all should be. I need to stop following that shit, man. Like I didn't get obsessed with that shit. Like I think I'm past it now though. Until Tasha K go put out another video and drag me back into that shit. That shit is ratchet as fuck. But let me turn this shit up. Um, if y'all don't know what's been going on, if you've been sleeping on the rock, like seen fucking what's his name? Derek Jackson got caught cheating on his wife. Yeah, double cancer. I believe son. I've heard he had Cancer moon, and I've also heard he had Aquarius moon too. And then somebody actually asked me to do a video on some shit I seen with Charlamagne speaking on that shit. I'm not gonna do a video on it, but I will kind of talk about it in this video. But yeah, man, Derek Jackson, man, it's talking about the cancer verse. If y'all know the like, mind you, like, I was really tempted to put out a video for the cancer verse on principle, but then like, like I'm Aquarius and shit, so like I'm like, man, fuck that. Everybody doing that shit. I mean, fuck that. I need some different shit. But I couldn't find no fucking no no, I couldn't really find much content on the fact that he's a cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept looking, I kept searching. I was like, man, somebody gotta have some type of information on him being a cancer. And I saw like one video I seen somewhere on YouTube, and I think it was like the girl was giving a tarot card reading, but like I don't think it was specifically dealing with the fact he was a cancer and like cancer traits and shit like that. And I was like, man, like you would think the fucking collective consciousness would be on it like that, man. And I'd be like, how the fuck am I the only one? I'm the only motherfucker out here speaking. Like I can't be the only motherfucker out here speaking. I'll be like, let me sit back. I ain't gonna do that shit. Let me see. Somebody gonna do this shit. Hey, nobody do this shit. If somebody got it, you can put the link. I would love to see it. Like, I'm like, man, somebody gotta have some type of content on Derek Jackson being a cancer male somewhere. Nigga, like nowhere. You know, I'm literally the only motherfucker on YouTube talking about this shit. Like, how the fuck is that even possible? Why the fuck motherfuckers be laughing at this shit? I be dead ass, nigga. I be like, Joe, this shit ain't funny, man. This shit be fucked up. I be like, I must be insane. Like, am I the only one thinking this fucking way? And then, like, y'all come in the comments and shit and verify and shit. I be, okay, cool. Okay, I'm not crazy. Like, but this nigga is a cancer, right? Right, okay. Don't I have a whole fucking video series of motherfuckers doing this exact same shit? Like, yeah. But, okay, well, am I the only, like, why the fuck am, like, man, Joe, like, why the fuck am I the only one that see this shit, you know? So, I don't know, man. Be fucked up, Joe. Kevin Jackson, man, I mean, fuck, yeah, I'm drinking tequila. And I drank some fucking Ace of Spades earlier. I was smoking a blunt, so you gotta forgive me. But fucking Derek Jackson's a, he, where do you even begin with that story, man? Kevin Jackson, like, damn. Derek Jackson was like a relationship counselor, like, you know what I'm saying? He used to give advice to women and shit. But how do you even explain that shit? Like he wasn't really giving advice. He was like, what the fuck do you even call that shit? Like he was like, what the? I don't know, man. You gotta Google that shit. Fuck, I ain't explaining that shit, Joe. I'm not explaining that shit. Somebody can put this in the comment. I'm not explaining that shit. Cause that's some fuck shit. Like how you even this like type shit. No, Joe. Nah, he wasn't no marriage counselor, Joe. Nah, Joe. He was a lame, Joe. Like he was a nigga with a phone trolling, nigga. Like you know, it's like I'm the wrong nigga to tell you that story, Joe. Like I'm not the right nigga to tell you that story. Like you see what I'm saying? You better off just seeing my response to that whole shit. Cause I ain't gonna explain it to you right, Joe. Like you better off going to go get an outside perspective and then coming back and hearing what I gotta say, Joe. Cause if I tell you in the gate and then you go look at it like that and you hear what I gotta say in the gate, you gonna be like, Joe, this whole shit bogus in the gate. Like you gotta kind of see it for yourself, man. That shit is just bogus. Like dude was like he was basically like a relationship counselor. You know what I'm saying? But it was bullshit. Like all the shit he was saying was bullshit. And like hella dudes was saying, like, man, it's bullshit. Like I always knew it was bullshit. But like he used to say shit that women wanted to hear, like you know what I'm saying, and he was good at that shit because he was a cancer. So like he say shit that was totally like I can't explain this shit, man. This shit fucked up, Joe. This shit fucked up, Joe. Like dude, like it wasn't even advice, man. Like he was like trolling, Joe. Like and like niggas do what the he was like niggas do what the fuck you do, man. Motherfuckers ain't stupid, man. You dumb as hell. Like niggas knew this shit in the gate, and he just like, but he was cold at that shit. Like he had a gift for that shit. Like he knew how to say shit in a way where it totally, man, some Cancerian shit. Cause like women to this day, fool, to this day, under the fucking Deontay, like to this day, is women that still follow this motherfucker, even though he been exposed. Like you so what I'm saying, cause he got a gift for like saying shit in a way that like. I mean, if you a scorned woman and you went through what he describing, it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit your soul. You gonna be like, oh my God, it's a man out there that actually understand what the fuck I went through. You see what I'm saying? But you don't know. Not only is he doing the exact same shit that he telling you, he actually worse than the motherfucker he talking like. And mind you, like under the cancer math, man. This is why I was gonna do the cancer verse video. I ain't know how to do this shit. I was like, man, should I do some cancer verse? Like, I ain't want to do this video, but like. That's the shit about cancer math, man. They keep you so locked into the math that equal 9, like you should do. Like, I don't know if you saw cancer math. So you might want to go back and watch it on my channel. But, like, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to equal up to 10. You come with 5, they come with 5 equals 10. But you come with 5, they come with 4. You know what I'm saying? They still telling you it's 10. You know what I'm saying? And the reason that shit is because it's stopping you from seeing the obvious fact, which is that this motherfucker is worse. Like, then, like, mind you, don't nobody say this shit. Like, when you listen to Kevin, you listen to everything that's going on, you'll say it just like that. You're like, man, he was doing the same shit. You're like, nah, he wasn't doing the same shit. This motherfucker is worse. That's the extra one that carries over. Like in Cancer Map, they keeping you right there to get you to say it just like that. I mean, it's the same shit. It's like, no, this is not the same shit. This motherfucker is worse. That's the secret about Cancer. You gotta remember, like, them motherfuckers be the worst ones. And like he sit there and say some shit like, oh, you're beautiful. He don't appreciate you, and you're a beautiful woman, and he's been cheating on you, running around sticking his dick in other women and shit. Like he's saying this shit in a way that, like, if you was a woman listening to that shit and you been through that shit, you probably sit the fuck down, and start crying. But you don't know the reason he do it. He's saying that shit like that because he as soon as he put the phone, literally as soon as he put the phone down, he's sitting outside his side chick house, and like her house sitting right behind her. And he literally like put the phone down and go inside his side chick house, and he was married to a woman and shit. And like he was keeping all this shit private, and people didn't know none of this shit. And like he just put out hella videos talking just like that. He was putting out books, all type of shit, and he made millions. You know what I'm saying? And it was all bullshit. He got exposed on Tasha K channel, the Pisces chick who be drinking all that wine. Her channel off the chain. She the most ratchet ass, but she a genius, man. Like she know her audience. So she a genius, and like I guess they had got into it on some previous shit. You see what I'm saying? So and he called her a narcissist or some shit. So she had been waiting to like get some files on him. And same shit just like it happened to Bill Cosby, man. One day a woman called up, started just giving hella receipts, talking about he had been cheating and this is that. Then another woman called in, and then I think like a third woman called in. You see what I'm saying? And then like it got to a point he don't even address like the specifics of it no more. Like you see what I'm saying? Like he don't like it's three women that came forward, but like the way he addressed it, he addressing it like it's still the same first woman. He not dealing with the specifics. Like this what cancer motherfuckers do and shit. Like they got a way of like they romanticize the words and shit, or like they say shit in a way where it's like, well, no, we like pay attention to the detail. This, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like you sit there and walk a cancer through that shit. Like they gonna try to use words to like, you know what I'm saying, to you gotta remember, man. Like, wait, cancer thing is like, oh, well, I don't like the way this made me feel, so I'm just not gonna focus on that. You know, I don't like talking about this, so I'm not gonna focus on that. You know, so like when you sit there and try to focus on the exact part where that they need to focus on, like they mind just literally do all type of fuck shit. Like they can't even, you know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what's happening to him right now. Like they just keep hitting him with file after file after file. And he literally like so like he went on the internet with it and put his wife on the damn internet. Like you supposed to say he sitting there next to his wife holding her hand talking about, oh, okay, well, this what happened was, and it just made the shit worse. And like if you go on YouTube, man, and just type in Derek Jackson, what's that shit called? A spoof, like a spoof or like a reenactment. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking hundreds of them. Like with dude sitting next to his wife because she came on there with the bonnet on and shit, man. It was like, what the fuck you? Like, what the fuck is this? The fuck am I watching, Joe? Like she came on, man, Joe. She kind of looked like my mama, nigga, back in the day, nigga. My mama used to wear them motherfuckers, Joe. Like I was like, Joe, what the fuck is this, man? And I think like she a Capricorn slash Sag. Like she born like right there during that week that if you go back and watch my Capricorn video, man, when I said anybody born, I think I was like somewhere like the week between like the 21st up to like Christmas Eve, maybe even Christmas Day. Like motherfuckers born anywhere like on that cusp, like that Sag Capricorn cusp, like the 24th, like them motherfuckers the 21st, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Like any of them numbers right there. They need mental they need they got mental issues and shit. I said this shit on my video. So I think she born somewhere between one of them days, or if not, maybe the 26th, or somewhere like right in that week. You know what I'm saying? You kind of see the way she act. You know what I'm saying? It's like damn, man, like damn, like one half everything she's saying 100% right. You know what I'm saying? But she's so far gone, like you know what I'm saying, under that shit, like it's like damn, like she got PTSD and don't even know that shit, you know. So it's just not a good look. So like, you know, the whole time he built his whole brand and his whole career and his whole image on, you know, keeping his wife, I mean, you know, being a good man, not cheating, shit like that, and you know, being this type of person. But he not come to find out, he's not that person at all. Like he treats his wife like shit. And mind you, man, you gotta understand, like every day, I said cancer. They come on my page on the Why I Hate Cancer video and leave a comment talking about I'm lying, I'm full of shit. They don't, you know, this is all bullshit. Astrology is bullshit. That's that. But people say shit all the time. I deal with this shit every day. I put out that video years ago, and motherfuckers, every fucking day, there's some cancer that come on my page and say some stupid shit about how I'm lying And at my time, I ignore most of that shit. But every now and then, like somebody will say some shit, or I'll just be having a fucked up day, and I'll just be like, man, let me fucking go through my YouTube comments and see what fucking dumbass shit they. But that shit always crack me up, man. Read the YouTube comments and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I be trolling your motherfucking side, and motherfuckers be getting pissed off. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, every now and then I read some shit that'll like I react to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't react much, man. Like every 3-4 months I react. I just go through a day. I just be reacting to all the comments in my, on my channel, and I always say the same shit every time. Like, man, shit. Okay, if you think I'm lying, go get your motherfucking spouse. Go get your wife. Go get your husband. And have them come watch this video. And have them come read. I don't even say watch the video. I be like, man, just go get your spouse and have them read both our comments, and then we see who they agree with. And I'll sit right here and wait. And they'll never come back. Matter of fact, I had time like they'll delete that shit. Like I'll come back a couple days later, that should be gone. They'll delete their comment. Cause like I don't know what the fuck they be thinking. Like maybe they gonna try to clear their history out. You know, their YouTube history, they try to delete that shit out their whole fucking history. So like, cause like I guess like my thought, like that's how I be sitting there trying to calculate this shit. I guess like, okay, so if I told them to let the spouse watch this shit and they ain't responded to my comment, matter of fact, they went back and deleted they comment, then they probably deleted that whole video out their fucking history. I don't know. I can't say for certain, but like that's how I be thinking. I be like, they must have deleted that whole shit out their history. They don't even want their wife to know that they own this shit. Like, might just be with the water signs more than anything, especially cancers. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm full of shit. How your wife come? Comment be gone. You know what I'm saying? It be like, okay, he probably deleted his history too. Motherfuckers be, and cause she got the file. Like, what's her name? I don't know her name. I don't know his wife's name, but she got his number. She got the file. You see what I'm saying? And that's how I be. Like, man, you can't listen to a fucking cancer tell you. You tell a cancer they ain't shit. Cancer come back talking about they is bullshit. You like, okay, yeah, really? What about your fucking wife? What about your fucking husband? And you be like, well, that shit you fucked up. You know. So you always gotta remember, like, this all about the signs. Pisces, Scorpio too. You know what I'm saying? Well, what about your ex? What would your ex say? Would your ex agree with me that what I'm saying is true? You know what I'm saying? Is you're a fucking narcissist, motherfucker who's actually recording videos talking about men cheating outside of his fucking side woman's house type shit. You know, when you tell a motherfucking Scorpio, oh yeah, you got a whole fucking inbox full of women that you've been hitting up, and you got a woman already. You tell the Pisces the same shit, man. You got a woman already, and you got a whole inbox full of women that you hitting up. Oh no, I don't have that. I don't have it at all. No, really won't. Just because your wife don't know that shit don't mean that this shit ain't fucking happening. We gotta ask your motherfucking wife, nigga. Like, what about your wife? Oh shit. Right. I'm not talking to you. I mean, like I say shit all the time. Like, I'm not making this content for you. I'm making it for your spouse. You know, that's how I be a lot of times. We say, well, you hate why I hate the Sagittarius video, but you said it in the why I hate Capricorn video. The Capricorns who are extremely religious sneak. That shit right there. That shit. That shit. That shit. That shit. Right there. And she definitely followed that shame. But mind you, man, I just told this story to fucking Jay. I was just telling this shit. Like, it was this fucking, it was a dude I met, man. I think his birthday was on Christmas Eve, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been the 22nd. But it's back when I was hustling, when I used to sell on the street. And fucking, I was out there. This was like day 3. I was out there for like 3 nights in a row. This in Maywood. You know what I'm saying? And like fucking, this dude was out there selling oils and shit. Like, dudes walk around with the oils. And you know what I'm saying? And he was like, he was a black dude, but you know, see, we knew this nigga growing up. He's from Maywood, you know what I'm saying? But like he joined Islam, and not Nation of Islam, but like real Islam. Where like he had the whole robe on, shit. Like he walked around with the robe on. He had the beard, he had the little hat on. He knew like Arabic language and shit. Like he was cold at that shit, and like he was fully immersed. Like when I tell you, this dude was fully immersed in Islam. And like he knew hella shit. And like, I was out there hustling for like 3 days, and like we was kicking it, and he was selling his oils, and and we was really trying to hustle each other for like 3 days in a row. But like at the same time, like we was talking about God. Like and I just remember like he was fully like I was like, man, like you upset. It's one thing to be like mind you, man, this is why my channel, that's why like, I be telling a lot of times people, man, I don't do card readings and all that fucking like I don't do not mind you. Like I don't say that to shit on the people that do it. You see what I'm saying? But like me, I can't. And it's not just tarot and shit. Like it be the religion. It be like a spiritual. Like I be like, man, nah, I can't fully. Like I feel you. I could listen to what you're saying. I can get the virtues, but I can never fully immerse myself into some shit like that. Like hell no. Like that dude was fully immersed. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was talking about how he was doing shit with his wife. He was making his wife do all type of shit to fit his. Like, I was like, man, hold on, man. That's like, man, like you kind of tweaking, Joe. And then we go. When I really realized that nigga was tweaking, man, it's like when I found this house. When I found this house, I went into that motherfucking garage. I don't know if I told y'all this story on this motherfucking channel before, but I went into the motherfucking garage and opened that garage. It was a fucking ton of books, like ancient books, all type of books. Fucking Manly P. Hall, fucking Secret of the Ages. That was my favorite one that was in there. But it was all, man. Mind you, to this day, the books are still sitting up in the. You see all these holes and shit in that. You know what I'm saying? We be stashing shit in the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got most of them books and shit in the ceiling sitting in this next room. You know what I'm saying? It's like fucking 70, 80 books was specifically on Islam. And it was literally the same exact shit that he was telling me about. Mind you, this happened like the same week. Like I found them books the same week the dude was telling me about this is, all the Islam links. So I'm sitting there listening. He was talking about the hadith, and he was talking about the prophet and like all these types. I've been drinking. What's it called? The sumi. I can't remember. I got it up there though. And so I go in my this garage. I find all these books. Suna. Thank you. Kevin. Fucking Aquarius. The Suna. So I'm like, Mike, I ain't know what the fuck that was. I'm like, Joe, this is shit you was just telling me about. So I go get the nigga. I'm like, Mike, I live in Cal City. I live in the South Burbs. Maywood is in the West Burbs. Nigga, that shit like an hour all the way across the city. Like you gotta go all the way into Chicago. You gotta go all the way north. Then you gotta go all the way to fuck west. This shit like about an hour drive to get to Maywood from where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But I was driving out there because that's where I was hustling at the time. You know what I'm saying? But like I remember when I found the books the same day, I was like, man, this is the same shit. I was like, yo, this guy. I was like, what the fuck? So I remember I got in my car. I drove all the way. I took like one or two of them with me. I drove all the way the fuck out to Maywood. I went on the block. He wasn't out there. I remember waiting like a bunch of. And he finally came out there. You know what I'm saying? And I ran up on him. I was like, man, look at this. He was like, what is that? I was like, Joe, I just found the whole garage full of books. And this is exact shit you were talking about. He was like, what? I was like, look. I was like, this volume, like mind you, I had grabbed. It was like volume 18 or something like that. It was like. And mind you, this is just one set of books. Like one set of books, it was like a 25 set volume of books. And this was just one set of books. Like it was fucking dozens and dozens of sets of books. You know what I'm saying? Like I had just grabbed like volume 17 of like one of the I don't know if it was like the Sunnah or the Hadith or like one of them. I don't know what it was. It was like one of them encyclopedias of the whole Islam, everything. And I went out there, I put it in his hand. He looked at it and he couldn't believe it. He was sitting there like, are you serious? I was like, yes. I just found this in my garage in the house that I just stole from the fucking government. So he was like, all right. I was like, man, you come check it out. So he was like, all right. So he jumped in the car with me. You know what I'm saying? And we drove all the way back. Mind me knowing I had to drive him all the way back and then come all the way back home. You know what I'm saying? We drove all the way. I drove him all the way back. It was like an hour back. He gets here, gets to the house. You know what I'm saying? I pull out the books. You know what I'm saying? And he looked at it and he started talking like in Islam. He was like, I was like, the fuck? And he sat out on the floor. I was like, what the fuck? He sat on the floor and he started rocking back and forth like this and shit. And he started doing like this with his beard. And he was doing like a prayer and shit. And I was like, what the fuck is this nigga doing, nigga? I was like, the fuck, nigga, I thought you was gonna show me this shit. Like, and he said that he was rocking, he was doing a prayer. And like, man, I ain't wanna, I was like, okay, like, what the fuck you doing, nigga? And so I was like, okay, so what's good? He was like, the prophet says that I can't touch these books. I was like, what? Nigga, what? He's like, nigga, I just drove an hour to come get you. He said, the prophet said I can't touch these books. I was like, Joe, fuck you talking about? And he was like, he said, that's the fucking prophet told me. I was like, nigga, when the fuck is your birthday? He was like, December 24th or some shit. I was like, December 22nd. And I remember I walked right in here and I grabbed that damn book, that secret language of birthday books, and I put that shit on the table. And I was like, read this. And then he kind of looked at it and he saw his birthday at the top of that shit. He said that he said something to the effect like he said, "What's that? A book of birthday or some shit?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he kind of looked at it, and he said he looked away. He's like, "I can't look at that shit." And I was like, "Why not?" He was like, "Yeah, it's witchcraft." And I was like, "Nigga, I drove you all the way the fuck out here. Why the fuck you could have told me that shit back in Maywood, nigga? Like, why the fuck you telling me this shit?" I'm like, okay, well, if you ain't, I ain't gonna force you to look at this shit. But why the fuck you make? I'm Aquarius, nigga. You made me drive all the way the fuck, nigga. What the fuck, nigga? You made me drive all the way the fuck out there and drove you all the fuck back. And then you told me I gotta drive you back, and you could have told me this shit then, nigga. So he went outside. You know what I'm saying? He smoked a cigarette. I mean, he was outside smoking a cigarette, and then. I mean, he said some ill shit to me. I came out there. We was talking. It was Simone. He said some ill shit. He said, he said, why the fuck did he say that? Ah, man, I don't want to misquote it. Hold on, let me turn this down. Let me turn this shit down. How did he say that shit? He said something to the effect of, like, while you here on Earth, it's a lot of shit here to distract you. But if you knew, like I know, that for certain that hell is real, and like he said the flames of hell is so hot that shit is white. And he said something like that. He said, man, it's a lot of shit moving in this world. But if you knew, and I was attracted to the word "knew." Like he was saying, like he was like, because I'm Aquarius, and it's like no. He said, if you knew, like I know, that hell is real, and that fire is so hot that it's white, or something like that to the effect. He didn't say it exactly like this, and he said, then you wouldn't be looking at that shit either. And I was like, okay, well, I got the other. I mean, this is where this shit got crazy. I was like, okay, well, I got the other book. I got the Islam books. Give me the instruction of what it is that you talking about. And he said, I can't do that either. And I was like, well, why the fuck you made me always come out? I was like, why the fuck you made me bring you all the fuck out here then? And I was like, nigga, do you know that what you doing is on that page? And what you doing right now is literally on that damn page. That it comes situations where like, you come at a crossroads in a life where like you got to make real life decisions, and more than likely you gonna turn it into a spiritual decision. You know, it said something to that effect, like right there in the book. It was like Joe, they don't see it how like just making a decision. They see everything like on a spiritual battle. And mind you, like when I was watching Derek Jackson's wife say what she was saying, she was like, yeah, we in spiritual warfare, and she had on the fatigues, and she was like, I'm a soldier for God, and I was like, it was like a split image of what I was going through with the dude I'm telling y'all about right now. He was saying, so he was like, man, like we on the battlefield, and like it's a spiritual war going on, and like he was fully immersed in that whole thing. Like he saw it literally like that 24/7, 365. So like for me, as somebody who under spiritual warfare too, it was like, I mean, I see what you're saying, and at the same time, I can sit here right with you and go through the chamber. I can sit right here with you. You can explain it to me. I can sit here and listen to it and actually give you the dialogue you probably looking for. But he couldn't. He couldn't. It was like, Joe, okay, you got the world we living in. Like Christ said, be in this world but not of this world. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, Joe, you from Maywood. It's a way that in this world we living in, when you set yourself up in that dynamic, in the way he set yourself up, all you doing is making yourself a target. Like, so I don't want to say it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it kind of is. It's like the dudes who be walking around with the kufis on, the dudes who be walking around like super religious shit like that, Smith be at their ass more than anybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like you didn't, like same thing happened with Derek Jackson. Like as soon as you position yourself as this type of person, you know what I'm saying? Now you're gonna get tested on them levels. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to know the shit that you know, but it's another thing to move in a way where motherfuckers can't see that you know. Like, so this is what we call a biggie eye. Like, y'all see me on the channel, like, every now and then you kind of see my eye kind of go. Like, I'll be high and shit. Like, you kind of see my eye move. Like, it might be kind of doing it a little bit. right now and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you, like, motherfucker, I see what the fuck you doing, nigga. Like, yeah, I'm looking straight here. Trust me, that eye right there, I mean, fucking see shit like Biggie. We see. You know, don't think just because I ain't talking about it don't mean I don't see it. We see what you doing. You know, so and a lot of times the way I dress and the way we talk to shit, like we blend in the matrix, you know, so people don't think that you know, so and then my language and stuff like that, it sounds that way, so people don't think that you know. So I mind you, like, so like I can understand how somebody's born in that time frame will fully immerse themselves into the spiritual warfare. So this is why I say, man, like some people like that need counseling. You see what I'm saying? And they're like, I'm like, Joe, like, I'm not saying what you saying not real. But in order to operate in this world, you're gonna need some type of counseling. Like, you see what I'm saying? And like watching her do that video, it brought me back to all that shit. And I was like, man, see, this is why I don't do my videos like that, Joe. Cause like on one half, like I be feeling what they be saying, but I be like, nigga, I can never get on the internet and talk like that, nigga. You out your motherfucking mind. And this is why it be hard for me a lot of times to watch Aquarius motherfuckers talk. Cause like they know it alls and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially like with Aquarius, like motherfucker deep in the spirituality and shit like that. They be the worst ones, nigga. I be like, nigga, I never follow you, nigga. Please. Like you ain't got no fucking zigzag zig, nigga. You don't know how to zigzag zig in this bitch. Like you literally is like if a woman was attracted to Spider-Man and then that nigga insisted on pulling his mask off and showing her that he's Peter Parker. And she like, motherfucker, you lame as hell. Like what? You go to school? You in high school? Like I can never fuck with you. Like, but just before you took that mask off, she was totally, mind you, still the same dude. But like, just the fact that you pulled that motherfucking mask off and started talking that way and started presenting information that way and just started coming off that way, you fucking fucked up the whole attraction of the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of spiritual dudes don't know that shit. They be fucking up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes who practice astrology, fucking spirituality, tarot cards and shit like that, like they come off corny and shit. Like when they be dealing with just in regular real life situations, they come off pompous and shit. Like you gotta know how to like level out, man. Like in Coming to America when fucking Hakeem sat down on that swing. And after she broke up with Derek, I don't know if you seen Coming to America, she broke up with Derek and Hakeem walked over there and he sat on the swing. He was sitting on the swing like this. This first Coming to America, not that bullshit they just put out, man. That shit was some bullshit. I couldn't even finish that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the old one, he was sitting on the swing. And she was like, you gotta loosen up a little bit. And he was like, oh, like this. And he kind of loosened up. He was like this. And she was like, yeah. And like, you know, he ended up bagging her in that scene. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, like, it was so ill. He was trying to bag her the whole movie. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until he came out there after she broke up and a fucking little bit of fucking champagne and kicked a couple jokes. He finally bagged her ass. Like, so a lot of people don't even remember how he bagged her. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until he had to sit around literally wait for her to break up with dude. He went outside and put a fucking jacket over, kicked a couple jokes, and boom, he was right there, just like that. You know what I'm saying? And I always say all that to say like the same shit. Like, man, this dude was like the prince of fucking Zamunda somewhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like over here, he was just a fucking, fucking janitor, basically, like type shit. You know what I'm saying? So like he had to loosen, like, you know what I'm saying, with all that, so he had to learn how to loosen the fuck up, like, you know what I'm saying. And it was like that's how you gonna get the girl, nigga. And even if you ain't trying to get the girl, it's just how you gonna be more congruent to this area of the world we living in, man. I'm in America, I'm in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So you fuck around, get your ass whooped talking too spiritual, man. Motherfuckers beat the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of blend in a little bit. You know, okay. Let me start wearing my hat like this and shit a little bit and start, you know, and be walking around talking about the 7 chakras and motherfuckers trying to sell me a fucking 3.5. I'm sitting there trying to explain this motherfucker the Kabbalah. Like, that shit, like, what the fuck? Nigga, no. No, nigga, no. Hell yeah. The fuck y'all talking about? Kind of reaction, because that's true for the Quran, but not necessarily for other books. Yeah, I might like, you know, like I said, it wasn't like I didn't understand what he was saying. It was just like, Joe, you gonna need some counseling living in Chicago talking like that, motherfucker. Like real shit. You know what I'm saying? The same shit like with Derek Jackson's wife, man. I think she's beautiful. I think everything she said was 100% on point. But like, I could never be her. Like, I would never want to go through that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. Like, you gonna need some counseling, motherfucker. You tweaking. You tweaking, talking like that. Like, no, motherfucker, you do not jump on the internet talking like that. You got your fucking mind. Like if I was Derek Jackson, man, you know what I did? I would have put out I would have went and paid a director, Joe. Like I would have went and got a director to put out like a commercial, like a 10, 30 second commercial. Like me and my wife, like I would have like right now, like motherfucker, like I get exposed. Like mind you, it's hella shit, y'all motherfucker. Yes, if you go through my past, I'm telling y'all right now, nigga. You try to play me, nigga. Yes, I'll expose myself, nigga. You go on my shit right now. My shit bogus as hell. It's all type of shit in that motherfucker. Bogus, yes. Your boy is bogus. Your boy K-Blao Hood X is bogus. I'm from Chicago. It's all type. If you broke into my shit, yes, it's bogus. Trust and believe. I'm not denying it. And if you find it, I'll put a video out and verify. Yes, that shit was bogus. Yes, it was bogus. Y'all know this up front. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? So but at the same time, like I would have in his situation, you know what I'm saying, with his wife. So say I would have fucking like if it was me and my wife, like say I got exposed like that, and like a whole bunch of women came like, yeah, okay, Blau, fucking 5, 6 other women, like, oh shit, but channel found out, fuck, I'm trying to put out this image, this is that. I would have went and paid, goddamn it, like Hype Williams or some shit to come in here and shoot like a 30-second commercial type shit with me and my wife. Like I would have had her deck all the way the fuck out. I would have been up here pimped all the way the fuck. Y'all would have never even seen. I would have had some new shit. Like my shit would have been shade. Her shit would have been. We would have been laced. And then like I would have said some shit like oh shit, you know, motherfuckers looking at us on the internet again or some shit like that. And then like boom, it would have cut just like that. Like I would have showed me and my wife like somewhere doing some ruthless shit somewhere in Hawaii. And then just like put out a snippet, just like on Instagram, like real quick. Just put some shit out like that real quick, and then they'll say shit else for about like a week or two. Like, damn, how did he respond, man? Actually, him and his wife was fucking in Hawaii or some shit like that. Like, that's what fucking Jada Pinkett and Will Smith did after that Red Talk table shit. That they a Red Table to whatever the fuck that shit called. Like, they went to like Hawaii or fucking Costa Rica somewhere, some shit. Like they put out in the press, like they put out a press release that they was going on vacation or some shit like that. Like, you see what I'm saying? And like I would have just did some shit like that. I wouldn't even say, you would never in your motherfucking life see me sitting right here like this, me holding my wife's hand, sitting there talking to y'all motherfuckers, explaining to y'all why I cheated on my wife. So you would never in your motherfucking life see no shit like that, nigga. You nigga, please. And that nigga tweaked. It's like, nigga, you know how much, like, it's so many ways you could have came at that shit, but like, motherfucker ain't got no imagination. Motherfucker can't, like, cancers can't think critical in real time, man. Like, it be crazy, especially like cancers that's like further in toward the Leo end. Like I think his birthday like July 20th. Like them July cancers way worse. Like you're saying, like my wifey, her birthday, she actually born on a cusp. She a Gemini. She a Gemini Cancer cusp. So since she literally born on the 23rd, which is the cusp of magic. So I'm saying, so like a lot of times I'm talking to her, that Gemini shit kick in. So like she kind of pick up on shit a little bit more. And then like you talking to like them cancers, like my sister, man, like she born like in July. She a July cancer. Like you talking to her, Joe, you be like, man, what the fuck? Like she ain't listening to a word your ass saying, nigga. And mind you, she coming at you with all type of other shit that can be that like ain't even no facts. She be like, Joe, what the fuck about the facts, motherfucker? Like what about you just gonna totally destroy the facts right here in front of my fucking weed. You in front of the fucking Patron and everything, you just gonna shit on all the facts and everything. Like that, and that's literally like what the fuck that nigga was on. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can kind of see like from his wife's perspective, like, you know what I'm saying? She probably wanted to clear the air and get her voice out there too. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they was talking about, how it looked, but like, you know what I'm saying? He definitely gave her wrong advice because like he kind of walked her down that road. Mind you, like maybe she just wanted to jump on the internet and vindicate herself and say what she got to say. I can understand that, but like just from my half, like so if I was him, I'd be like, babe, we need to just put out a video, just me and you, like somewhere, like a bunch of pictures or some shit like that, like me and you in Egypt somewhere, like and just like some shit like that. Like he need PR bad as hell. He can't think critical. You know what I'm saying? He like a Leo type cancer more than like a Gemini cancer. You know what I'm saying? It be fucked up. And mind you, like, you know what I'm saying? The video, I shared it on this page. You know what I'm saying? Like Charlamagne put out a video. This shit was fucked up. And like talking about not on the Breakfast Club, man, it's on his other channel. I don't even know the name of that podcast. You know what I'm saying? But he was talking about some shit like motherfucking goddamn it, Derek Jackson's a narcissist, and he put out a video talking about himself in third person, responding to his other video. This is that. Like halfway into he's like, I could never do no shit like that. And halfway him going to his red, You know what I'm saying? The woman sitting next to his left or right or whatever. She said, oh, he a cancer. And he was like, no, he's not a cancer. And she was like, oh, he was almost a cancer. He born on July the 20th. And he was like, July 20th. No, that make him a cancer then. And then like he was like, oh shit, like why he was in the middle of ranting about narcissism and how certain narcissism can be cured. Like he was literally saying this, like certain narcissists can be cured. I was talking to my counselor, and he's going on a rant talking about himself in third person. And he's a full blown narcissist. He doesn't know that people speak about themselves in third person like this, and they're doing this to cover up the fact that they're trying to further themselves from their own bullshit. I think that's like almost damn near verbatim what he said. He said something to the effect like, narcissists talk about themselves in third person to further themselves away from their own bullshit. Oh, I think he's a cancer. He's like, no, he's not a cancer. She's like, oh, he's almost a cancer. So he's born July 20th. Oh, that makes him a cancer. She said, oh, he is a cancer. And then he was like, I can never be like that. I can, mind you, he's sitting there talking his hands like this at first. And then once he realized he had cancer, he started doing like this. He's like, I can never do that. And then once he really realized he cancer, he started picking his nail like this. And he's like, man, I can never do that. I can never, get on the internet and start talking like I'm one way, but behind closed doors, I'm doing some whole other shit that's total opposite toward my lifestyle and shit like this. And then I can never do that. I can never do that. I can never do that. Why would I put myself on like that? And he get quiet. And then the dude next to him, he say, man, he's so full of shit. He has to go get in his car to go make his videos. And then Charlamagne put out this fake ass laugh like, and he started taking off his jacket. His nigga was getting hot because they were still on the fucking mental thread that the dude next to him, he said, yeah, he's so full of shit. You can kind of hear Charlamagne was like, oh shit, like the word he was like full of shit. He was like, oh shit, like, can they see the fact that I'm a cancer and I'm actually like on the spot now and that like this dude's energy then rubbed off on me and there's other people in here and I've just confirmed in front of them that this dude and me are basically of the same fucking astrological archetype. And mind you, they all spiritual. They understand astrology. They understand like matter of fact, like Charlamagne called out Antonio Brown for being a cancer and he listed off all his negative cancer traits right there in front of him in the beginning of the damn Antonio Brown video. When Charlamagne interviewed Antonio Brown on the Breakfast Club, he said, you know you're a cancer, right? So fucking emotional. This like he went on to all the negative traits. So they know. So when he realized right there while the camera was rolling that Derek Jackson was a narcissist, in the middle of him going on a rant about narcissist cancer, in the middle of him going on a rant about narcissist cancer, like he got hot, like he literally got hot. He got nervous. I was watching this, his whole energy shifted, and he took off his jacket, and then he changed the subject. He was like, "So where does he go from here?" And like you can see him tweaking, like you know what I'm saying, and that like but the cancer is never what it looked like up front. It's never. I said this in the cancer verse video. I think I said this on the Why I Hate Cancer video. It's never what it looks like up front. It's never. It is never what it is up front. And mind you too, like man, like it's certain shit. Mind you, believe it or not, man, a lot of the shit that you hear me ranting about on this channel is about my siblings. My siblings, believe it or not. It's about my siblings. But I love my siblings. You know what I'm saying? It's like brother sister shit. I'm on here just ranting, really. And like a lot of times, like motherfuckers come on here and verify it, and that's what a lot of times give me the satisfaction, make sure I'm not tweaking. Because all my siblings is water signs. You know what I'm saying? So like that gives me a lot of content for this channel. But it's not like I'm going to like fucking go kill my brother and sister. Or, like I want to whoop their ass, or I'm like I want to see them fucked up. Like you see what I'm saying? So like a lot of stuff say it's out of love. You see what I'm saying? And this is like the same thing with my wife. Like you see what I'm saying? Like yeah, I'm married to a cancer. You see what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of shit she do pisses me off, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But I obviously love my wife. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna fucking like gonna shit on my wife. Like I'm not gonna come on YouTube and actually shit on my wife. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying? I understand my wife is a cancer. I understand the irony of me putting out content married to a cancer. You gotta understand that is the that's where the content comes from. Like you know what I'm saying? I understand the irony. Y'all look at it like my situation is ironic, but it's like it's not. It's like I'm coming on here ranting about these things because obviously I probably just got into it with my wife. Or I probably just got into it with my brother. I probably just got into it with, you know what I'm saying, a water sign or some shit like that. And I'm on here obviously ranting about that, you know what I'm saying, because I obviously just went through that. You look at a situation like Derek Jackson, that's a totally different situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's literally on here. Like, man, like, you have to know, just answering Kevin, going back to what Kevin was asking, you know what I'm saying, an aspect of, like, who is Derek Jackson? Like, you have to watch a lot of his videos to really understand, like, okay, like the difference between like somebody who like what he doing versus like the difference between what I'm doing. And then like I'm giving it to you raw. For like a lot of times I won't come out and tell you like, oh man, my wife pissed me off. Shit. It's like, nah, man, I actually understand she a Cancer woman and she's an emotional in these aspects. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times that's what's pissing me off more so than like her. The same thing with my brothers and sisters. Like I understand my older brothers are Pisces. I understand my younger brothers are Scorpio. I understand my sisters are Cancer. So I'm saying, so like I can come on here and release and vent from an astrological standpoint, where it's like, at the end of the day, like Muslims look at astrology like it's bullshit anyway. You know what I'm saying? But the people who do listen will get to learn. It's all out of love. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's over here trying to like fuck nobody over, and ain't nobody over here saying we all great people trying to portray some type of image that we not. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Chicago, shit ratchet as hell. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 100% authentic. It's a totally difference between what I'm doing and what him doing. And mind you, talking about accountability, all this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like me when I'm dealing with Derek Jackson, man, the question always come back to me, ask myself, man, wow, like, why the fuck would you want to be that? Like, why would you put yourself on the internet and position yourself as that type of person, man? And mind you, like a lot of why I decided to do this shit, like, man, it was just like a week or two before. It was some lady who was arrested for fraud, like, and she was getting on the internet too, talking the same shit, like how to get a man. She was a cancer woman. You know what I'm saying? She was putting out videos how to get a man, like a rich man by like basically like lying and shit and like doing scandalous conniving shit, and like if you keep doing this you'll get you $1 million man. She was talking about how, like I think she had like 3 different baby daddies and some shit like that, and they was all paying her $1,000 a month and some shit like that. She ended up getting arrested for fucking fraud. I don't know her name, you know what I'm saying, but I know she was a cancer woman. If y'all know that woman's name, man, y'all leave it in the comments, you know what I'm saying. um Jay Can put me onto that story. And mind you, was so ironic. He had just showed me her like about 2 days before. This is literally the same shit with Derek Jackson, right? Like it was like maybe 2-3 days before. Like Jay came to me with this. He was like, man, listen to what this fucking bitch saying. And she was saying, what is it? Share a seven? Is that it? I I I, I don't know her name. I hope that's it. So I'm saying, appreciate you too. You know, what the fuck did he say? He said something like, I can't remember. He said something that had me cracking up. Yeah, he was like, why the fuck does Kansas always talking about some shit that they don't even know what the fuck they talking about? So I can't remember how he said it. And he showed me her, and I was like, man, like, who the fuck is her? He's like, man, she out here talking about how to bag a dude, you know what I'm saying, and get a rich man, and she divorced, like, they got 3 different baby daddies, some crazy shit. And I was like, oh shit. So like, I subscribed to her channel, you know what I'm saying, to be following shit, studying shit. And then come find out, like she got locked up like 3-4 days later. I was like, man, I just followed her channel like 3 days ago. Mike, this is the same shit that happened with Derek Jackson. Like my friend Benita, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Benita. You know what I'm saying? Benita Arset. You know what I'm saying? She be in the comments every night and she be watching my videos. You know what I'm saying? My friend Benita, she like a sister to me. We used to do a podcast together. You know what I'm saying? She used to put out these videos. She used to put them on page too, but like she used to send me videos of Derek Jackson. Used to ask me like, because I used to tell her all the time, man, I hate that nigga. That nigga's full of shit. I used to tell her all the time, like, that nigga's full of shit. I think we even did a podcast one time. I even said some shit. I was like, man, that nigga's full of shit. Y'all should listen to Benita podcast, man. She got a cold podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? But like every now and then she'll put it out there too, like, man, what y'all think about Derek Jackson and shit like that. And so she kept sending me content of that nigga, and I was like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna subscribe. Subscribe to that nigga. And then this shit happened literally like fucking 4 or 5 days later. And I was like, man, every time I subscribe to a cancer, man, some shit. And mind you, like this be happening to me on the internet all the time. Like I'll go join a Facebook group and then like 3 days later, the whole group will get shut down. I'll go on eBay and like look up some shit I'm trying to buy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, okay, cool. And I'll save it. And I'll go back 2 days later, somebody even bought the shit. And it's been sitting there for like a year. You're like, okay, this shit, like same shit, Facebook Marketplace. This item's been sitting here for like fucking 6 months. I'll hit them up. I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to buy this. They're like, okay, cool. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna come get it in a day or two. They be like, okay, cool. And then a day or two, I'll go hit them up. The shit be gone. I'm like, yo, that shit was sitting there for fucking months. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is there some type of algorithm in my phone that everything I click on, like, sends this shit to the public and make the other motherfucking public come in and get my idea, like right before my some crazy shit? I be thinking it's like a conspiracy or some shit. Like, I be like, Joe, like, it's fucking aliens watching my phone. And like, motherfuckers is like, fucking trying to make me think I'm crazy in the world, stealing all my fucking ideas. Cause I swear to God, I'll be sitting there talking to y'all about some shit, and then I'll go turn on my fucking TV, and a fucking YouTube video pop up with some exact shit I'm sitting there talking about. Like, what the fuck? Shit's fucked up. But man, I told y'all back in the day, man, that the water signs is blameless. I was like, man, water signs about to be going through it. I was like, then we getting caught on tape, motherfucking got footage, all that type of shit. Like, water signs don't think. Like, Joe, if you Derek Jackson, you would think that this nigga would not be texting no inappropriate shit, making a video of himself literally like, hey, what's up? What kind of panties you got on? No, for real, what kind of panties you got on? Like, it looked weird, even him saying some shit like that. Like, you supposed to say, like, I'll keep it 100 with y'all, man. Like, I don't know, like, if y'all didn't film yourself having sex, I didn't film myself having sex multiple times. Like, me and Marvin, like, pull out the camera, you be like, oh man, this shit look good. Like, I want to film this shit, watch it later. So like, I have a whole fucking folder somewhere full of me and my wife doing crazy. But I do not have an OnlyFans per se. Like, I would not put it out to the public like that. You see what I'm saying? But in a situation where like, if that shit was to leak, like, you know what I'm saying, to the public or some shit like that, you know, I would definitely not respond in the way that this man is responding to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind works like, why you just want to fuck with the internet like that at all, man? Because like, you be like, it'd be too much shit that could backfire on your motherfucking ass, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't put myself out there like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, like I said just a minute ago. I'm like, it'll always come back to me with Derek Jackson. I'm like, man, why the fuck would you position yourself like that, nigga? Like, admit that you, like you gotta kind of admit that you are a little bit crazy, a little bit. Like, we all got some type of, like, I got a video called Aquarius Hero. We're talking about, like, the heroes in these times, like, how people relate to the Marvel characters more so than the DC characters. Mind you, they just put out the Snyder cut. And, with DC movie, Superman, Batman, they just re-released that shit. And now everybody's coming out like, oh, it was so great, oh, this is much better than the old ones. It was like, motherfucker, y'all didn't even like none of the older movies, like none of the DC movies that was coming out during that whole time. Like, nobody was watching none of them shits. Like, you see what I'm saying? That shit was bullshit. People like superheroes that have problems. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like they got fucking like, mind you, Aquaman kind of had problems. You see what I'm saying? But like people like Deadpool, motherfucking like fucking Black Panther, like motherfucker got family issues, shit like that. Like people, you kind of got to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Um, a lot of people didn't even know Derek Jackson was married. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to position himself on the internet like he wasn't even married, type shit. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at, and mind you, like, that's why I think female intuition is bullshit, man. Because like female talking, oh, my female intuition kicked in, my female intuition kicked in. Like, female intuition, how the fuck your female intuition ain't tell you that every nigga was sitting around and telling you Derek Jackson is bullshit, but your female intuition ain't tell you that nigga was bullshit? How the fuck? What the fuck? How the fuck is so many women surprised if female intuition is real? Okay, gonna fucking tell me some fucking female intuition, nigga. Female intuition real, right? Then explain Derek Jackson. And by you, like, I'm gonna say this, fuck it. I wasn't going to say this, but fuck it. I'm Aquarius as hell. I'm Aquarius as hell. And like, the further you go into Aquarius, like especially like Aquarius February 17th, I think that's 28 degrees, if not 27 degrees, something like that. Like, I'm not born on the 17th. I'm not that deep Aquarius, but I'm pretty fucking familiar with the traits of Aquariuses that are born on like February 17th, like Michael Jordan, Huey P. Newton. I know a couple of the February 17th Aquariuses. Them motherfuckers is full blown revolutionaries, and whatever the fuck it is they doing, like, they right there on the edge or the fringe of the thought. And the more Aquarius you are, the more you don't give a fuck about, I don't want to say yourself, but like, you don't give a fuck about yourself. You be like, man, fuck my life, nigga. And like, when you say fuck my life, like, Aquarius be on some fuck my life shit for real, man. It's hard to explain this to somebody who's not Aquarius, but try to follow this. Like if you think of a Leo, like the opposite of Leo, somebody who's totally into themselves. Like, you see what I'm saying? For the most part. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's me. You know, so when you get the opposite of that thought, it's not just the opposite of that thought in regards to when Aquarius mostly kind of put the collective first. You see what I'm saying? And then kind of put their perspective second, because Aquarius naturally kind of assume that you're gonna think that their perspective is crazy, or not necessarily crazy. We kind of think that you don't give a fuck, like, you know what I'm saying, and and like we be right there. Like, mind you, like, I've never heard an Aquarius say this, but I've seen it. It's kind of hard to explain, but like Aquarius be on some real fuck my life type shit. Like, you look at Huey Newton. You can't even look at Michael Jordan. Like, Michael, you never know. Like, Jordan be on some fuck, not fuck my life, but fuck my life for real. Like, man, fuck my life. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like XXX Extension. Like, we don't really give a fuck about our life. You know, it's hard to explain, but it's like when you think about how much of a Leo gives a fuck about their life. Think about how much of a Leo gives a fuck about their life. Not think of the opposite of that, but the total opposite of that. And they're like, you don't give a fuck about your life. Like, you see what I'm saying? And not only you don't give a fuck about your life, you kind of think that your life is a burden on other people. You see what I'm saying? And you be like, man, I don't even want to, like, you like this year, like, my sister was gonna do a Zoom conference, like, for my birthday. You see what I'm saying? She was like, oh, we gonna, cause like they was doing Zoom for all of the birthdays, and it came to me. I was like, man, I don't want to do that shit. And she was like, why not? I was like, I don't want to burden no. And mine was real shit. I was like, I don't want a bunch of people sitting there staring at me. And like, cause like, I've been to birthday Zoom meetings and I don't want to sit through no shit. I'm like, man, I don't want to sit through no shit like that. And I'm like, I know goddamn well most people don't want to sit through no shit like that, especially, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to do them a favor and fuck that shit. We ain't having no party. Like, you know, man, it's literally the total opposite. Mind you, this is when I kind of came up with this thought. I was like, man, I really don't give a fuck about my life. Like this shit could go by every year. And I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't need no party. I don't need shit, nigga. I don't know. Fuck that. I don't want a bunch of people sitting around staring at me, looking at me like that. Like, nigga, fuck my life. You know what I'm saying? And, the further deeper into Aquarius, you get that. And mind you, a lot of Aquarius don't even know that they be doing that shit. You see what I'm saying? That we kind of see our ideas as a burden. We kind of see our whole life as a burden to somebody else. Like, you see what I'm saying? So like we try to avoid. Like, a lot of times we both think we be cold and distant, but we know what it's like to be around somebody that you just don't like. You know what I'm saying? So, and we just naturally assume that you don't like us. Like, man, this motherfucker don't like us. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I know you don't want to be around me, so I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna get the fuck around from you before you get the fuck away from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, we don't. It's, you gotta think of a Leo. Like, when you think of Aquarius, think of a Leo. Like, you know what I'm saying? And understand it's like same shit in tarot. Like, they'll tell you a card is reversed. So you'll think that means the opposite. You're like, nah, that's not the opposite per se. It's the same shit, but it's reversed. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so you not. A lot of people do not understand like reversed in tarot, like what that shit really means. They think it's the opposite. It's like, no, it's the same image, dog. It's just reversed. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean opposite. It means reverse. So like, it's the same words, but just in a backwards order. You know what I'm saying? Aquarius is literally like reversed Leo. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta kind of meditate on that shit and it'll make more sense. You see what I'm saying? Because we're very respectful of other people's space and we want other people to respect our space. Very true. Very true. Very true. I don't think it might, and see, it's a fine line between respecting somebody's space and thinking that you're a burden on somebody else's space. And like me, like a lot of times I feel like that. I feel like I'm a burden. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like you know, so I don't want to, because we respect people's space. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's because like I respect what you got going on so much. I don't want to even come nowhere in between that shit. Like, whereas a Leo will totally do the opposite. Like, they be like, oh yeah, give me that. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. To, you know, like Aquarius be around that motherfucker tiptoeing, right? And we don't even want you to know we even in that bitch. Like, you see what I'm saying? So why the fuck did I say all this shit? I was talking about some other shit. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. But I remember, well, fucking Derrick Jackson the difference between his channel and my channel, and the way I approach the shit. And if I was ever exposed doing some stupid shit, I already don't give a fuck about like everything you're saying. I would hate to see my wife get dragged into shit like that though. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, you know, like right now, if I was sitting there and motherfucking like the feds came right up in here, like you so saying, I got fucking like those all type of drugs, motherfuckers start putting this shit out in here, like you were saying, motherfuckers start like really digging, research into my life and all that type of shit because this shit happened on lives, fuck stupid shit, like you so saying, motherfuckers kind of know, like motherfuckers, oh yeah, well that's black, like you so saying, like I'm not like you so saying, how do I even put this shit, like you know, if motherfuckers ran up in goddamn it fucking, I don't know, like, oh, fucking, who's fucking be on that shit? Like, motherfuckers ran up in Rick Ross shit and found a bunch of drugs. Motherfuckers ran up in the goddamn Gucci Man spot and found a whole bunch of ratchet shit. You know what I'm saying? Or comes out in the fucking internet, motherfucker hacked Gucci Man phone, found a bunch of images of him and his wife having sex. Stupid shit. Motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, oh, motherfucker hacked, you know, motherfucking phone and found all type of private videos. That's some shit. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't fuck with the internet like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't. I don't. I would never want no shit like that to be like that. I definitely wouldn't want to have nothing like that for my family. But if it did, like you know what I'm saying, I think I wouldn't. I would never deal with it in the way that motherfucker deal with it. Like you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's mainly because like I don't really give a fuck about my life like that. So it's fucked up, man. Like it's kind of like I said in the XXX Extension video. I think I said some shit like that. It was like Aquarius motherfucker shoot themselves in the head. Like motherfucker kill themselves. Like yeah, I still won because like we don't look at life like that. You know, we kind of look at it like some shit we got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? We be already kind of like dead in our mind. Like it's kind of like a Pisces. Oh damn it! It's like we right there at the end of the thought. It's like but we not at the end, but we fucking are Pisces per se. You know what I'm saying? But we right there. We like okay, what's next? You know, mine is air, so it's like okay, what the fuck? Like all right, let's see this shit over with. You know, so like we don't really give a fuck about our life. We give a fuck about just trying to get to like what's the point? Like all right, like I know. All right, okay. Let's get to the point. You know. So I could never see myself responding, sitting there explaining to y'all motherfuckers why the fuck you saw my goddamn penis on the fucking internet or some stupid shit. You saw me walking around naked, or you found a bunch of drugs in my motherfucking house, some stupid shit. Like I don't know y'all no fucking explanation of that shit, man. You got your motherfucking mind. You got your motherfucking mind. Let's see what we got here. Aquarius tarot card is the star, and Leo is the sun. Y'all spelling Jackson wrong. It's Jaxn. I don't think it's some weird shit. No, Derek. Derrick. We're Aquarius people love and we are humanitarians. However, we know how not to overwhelm other people. Leos want too much attention all the time that they not gonna leave nobody else alone. It's very true. Very true. However, Leos are like our brothers. A lot of times I looked at them like fucking brother, you know. A lot of times I look at shit like that. Like you gotta look at shit like a lot of times like brothers and sisters. You know, we all family. You know, you don't really have no enemies per se. It just be areas of distortion in vocabulary, especially when you know fucking astrology. You fast forward because you already know why motherfuckers are saying the stupid shit they're saying. You're like, oh, this motherfucker's a Virgo. Oh shit. No wonder. I like, yeah, Leo's the shit. Leo turn up at your ass. Leo, hope you not take shit so serious. You know, gotta learn to cool out, chill out. I took some other shit too. Kirk Franklin with his motherfucking son. His son is a Taurus. I think his name Carry On. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome shit. This motherfucker trying to expose his father. You know what I'm saying? I'm Aquarius. You know what I'm saying? I got a Taurus son. And that shit was fucking with me. because like under the Taurus verse, like I've been trying to explain to my son, at a very early age, Taurus shit. Like, Joe, you a Taurus nigga. Like, nah, fuck that. There's some shit you need to know, nigga. You a Taurus, cause you be doing Taurus shit. I put a video on here on the other day just to kind of give y'all a motherfucking perspective of the shit I be dealing with. And then like we was playing a video game. Like I let him play a lot of video games. Like I let him play a lot of video games, and I get introduced a lot of technology to him because technology is very unforgiving to bullshit. And like I've noticed that like he if you watch that video I put out of him, he was playing a Pink Panther game and he kept running through the same door. Benita, what up? We were just talking about you. You missed the whole shit. Missed the whole shit, bro. I was just talking about you. I was talking about all the Derrick Jackson videos and shit you was sending me. But so like my son, he plays video games. Yeah, yeah. He be alright though. I ain't say nothing bad. I ain't tell him about. I ain't. but so my son is playing this fucking game and he's literally caught in a loop. And I'm telling him to go through this door, but he wants to go through this door. And I'm like, Joe, go through that door. Go through that door. And he's literally going through the same door over and over again. Video games don't work like fucking emotionally, and then like you know what I'm saying. I'm not like a teacher per se. Like I didn't watch his teachers at school kind of get caught in these patterns with him, and they kind of fucking don't know what to do, and they be like, "What the fuck? Like, did we just say that?" And like they just kind of keep it moving. But so like they don't really like know he a Taurus like that. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of see he be tweaking a little bit. They be like, "Man, this nigga kind of tweaking." And I be seeing that shit too. I be like, "Joe, this nigga is a Taurus." So like I give him a lot of video games to see how long it takes for him to get to the point where he kind of see that he tweak it. Like, so saying, so like he literally has to go through like the same pattern maybe like fucking 20, 30 times at first before he would say, man, hold on, man, like, hold on, this is getting boring. I gotta stop doing this. I need to change. Like something's obviously wrong here. The video games taught him that. Especially like them type of game, like the Pink Panthers, he love that game. Like it's like a maze basically. It's like you got to figure. Man, he's only 3 years. No, he's 4 years old. He's about to be 5. So saying no, he's 3. He's about to be 4 in May. So saying, but it's like a maze. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you can die in the game. It's real basic. So if you don't do it right, it's just gonna keep doing the same shit over and over again. I'm sitting there looking at like, okay, this is definitely something that I need to get him to see at an early age. Because if I look at this shit that Kirk Franklin going through right now, like mind you, Kirk Franklin Aquarius, just like me, and I'm looking at what he going through with his son. Hell no, nigga. Like I totally understood why that nigga went off like that. Like nigga, you dealing with a Taurus nigga. I was like, no, y'all not about to drag my nigga through the mud like that. I was like, no. Mind you, I'm already biased. Every time there's some shit about Aquarius in the news come up, I'm biased as hell toward the motherfucking Aquarius in the gate. Like you know, like same shit happened with Gucci. You know, when Gucci was going against fucking Jeezy, and everybody trying to shit on Gucci because Gucci went up there and performed that motherfucking record. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, man, that shit old shit. You need to get over there. So like, man, they trying to kill that nigga. You out your motherfucking mind, nigga. This what the fuck they do. Like same shit with Justin Timberlake. You know what I'm saying? He came out recently and apologized for some shit like, well, I was like, nigga, why the fuck would you say some shit like that? Like, he came out and apologized. Oh, if I ever did something wrong with women, I guess it was the Britney Spears ordeal or some shit like that. And the nigga came out and said some stupid shit about like, oh man, I didn't mean to do what I did or some shit like that. It was like, nigga, if you go back in time, what happened with her? Like, she cheated on him with his best friend or some shit like that. He put out the Crimea River video and basically shitted on her. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I guess a lot of people thought he was bogus for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I think he cheated on his wife. I don't know what her name is. I think it's like Olivia. No, I don't know if it's Olivia or I don't know what the fuck her name is. You know what I'm saying? But he cheated on her. I think she a Pisces. And so he came out and put this apology out of nowhere in the middle of this whole fucking ordeal about Britney Spears documentary or some shit like that. He come out the body. So I'm so sorry about everything I did to women, and women start shitting on him left and right. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know exactly what he was positive of his wife. He cheated or some shit like that versus what the fuck was going on with Britney Spears. But I was dealing from the Britney Spears aspect. And I was like, man, no, that nigga can do no wrong. Nigga, she cheated on him with his best friend, but people still trying to look at him like he was fucked up. So I kind of see this shit a lot of time with Aquarius and like under the like I call Aquarius PTSD. This is what people don't understand. Like Michael Jordan put out a documentary. You know what I'm saying? On ESPN. You know what I'm saying? About a couple months ago. And like this shit became a meme, and people talking about like he kept saying, "Man, I took that shit personal. I took that shit personal." Now, mind you, like Aquarius, Michael Jordan, full blown Aquarius. It's like February 17th. If that's not like 28 degree, maybe 29 degrees, somewhere right around. It's like damn full blown Aquarius. So I'm saying, so like when you hear that nigga keep saying over and over again, "Man, I took that shit personal." And like, he was talking about simple shit. Like they was like, "Oh, Clive Drexler is on the same level of Michael Jordan." He's like, "What the fuck?" Like he was like, he took that shit, he took that shit personal. And mind you, like. when he say that shit, I feel that nigga. Like I be like, Joe, I know, nigga. Like if you Aquarius, I, this some real shit, Joe. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, I wish you did. But like you know what I'm saying, like they got this shit. Like if you go on YouTube, man, they got these clips of you, Michael Jordan. Every time he said he took something personal, he said, "Man, I took that shit personal." Like, but it sound petty as hell. Like everything he was taking personal on the surface, it sound petty. It was like, what the fuck? But when the drama played out, you gotta see why that nigga took it personal. It was like, nigga, like, no, nigga, that nigga's nowhere near on my level. No, no. And it was like every time anybody ever tried to compare like another player, like K-Blao, Reggie Miller, like Clyde Drexler. Anytime they, you know what I'm saying, like people didn't treat him like he was Michael Jordan, like he took that shit personal. It was it looked like he had fucking insecurity issues. You would never think like same shit like mind you. That's why they got the Jordan crying emoji because like Jordan is a nigga you would never think has vulnerabilities. Like you know what I'm saying, be like he represents like because of what he represents as far as like alpha man inside the mind of men. Like there is no vulnerability. Like they start talking about his father when he like gambling issues and shit like this is literally like the only way you can even try to troll that nigga. Like this nigga is literally from a man's perspective, he's like literally like damn near perfection. He got the fucking shoe, everybody he has the most expensive sneaker fucking ever type shit. I guess outside of Kanye, what Kanye doing and shit like that. But you know what I'm saying, before that whole era that he brought in, that whole shit, it's like Michael Jordan is literally like the epitome of what every kid sport, you know, in high school wanted to be at the time. You know what I'm saying? So when he's sitting there telling you he took shit personal, that motherfuckers is comparing them to a brand like that, you kind of see, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's trying to kind of play out. You like, man, like, that nigga ain't no Michael Jordan like that. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, if you, to actually be Michael Jordan and sit and listen to that shit, like, you know what I'm saying? It would be offensive. Like, if you was Michael Jordan, you'd probably be offended too. Like, this motherfucker just compared Clyde Drexler to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you were, like, you got to kind of be Aquarius to understand that, cause like mind you, like not all Aquarius like that, but like motherfuckers know, like Aquarius know, like motherfucker we know, like no nigga no, like no that's not it. This is it. Like no this is it. I promise you this is it. This is how this shit needs to go. I promise you. Yeah, you can argue. I will sit here as long as I learn patient techniques, all that type of shit. Right, great. But I will sit here, right? I understand I'm tweaking. I'm probably a little over aggressive. All that. I will work on that. But at the end of the day, if you don't do what the fuck I'm telling you, the whole shit gonna be fucked up at the end of the day. Because motherfuckers know what the fuck we talking about. It's like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be hard to, and this is another reason why Aquarius don't, we feel like we a burden a lot of times because we know. So, you know what I'm saying? We be like, fuck, man, like, motherfucker ain't gonna listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Motherfucker ain't gonna listen. Do I really want to go through this? Like, is it better for me just to be quiet? Or should I say something? This is literally the fucking every Aquarius's conundrum. Like, do I say something? Or do I just let it go? Like, you know what I'm saying? We sit around for hours thinking about this shit. Real talk. Like, we're like, fuck. I can't say nothing. But somebody needs to tell that motherfucker. Like this is the Aquarius conundrum. Man, fuck. Don't say that shit. What the fuck? You just gonna leave it fucked up? Like, yeah, but if I say it, then it's gonna be. I already know, right? But you can't leave it like that, right? Shit, fuck. Do I say something? Don't. You can't. Fuck. But if you, shit. Like Aquarius sit around and think like this all day. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we just like, man, fuck it. So I can look at Kirk Franklin with his son, like, man, okay, well, shit. What the fuck you doing in a situation like that? Like he gave up on that. I can see like somewhere he gave up on that shit. Like Joe, like, cause I don't know if he knew that nigga was a Taurus or like what that really meant. You know what I'm saying? But like I could see Kirk Franklin giving up on that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And from a worldly standpoint, it ain't gonna make sense. But from a spiritual standpoint, if you're looking at Aquarius dealing with a Cancer sun like that, I kind of see like, man, like if he don't know up front, if he don't know he a Taurus, like from a young age, like Joe, these are the traits. If you start doing these traits, I will not tolerate these traits. You know what I'm saying? You my son, I love you, but you motherfucker, you a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? And I'm Aquarius. So this is set up fucked up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is set up for us to fail. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is basically how I talk to my son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Joe, we in a dynamic here, bro. Like, we in a fucking sitcom here, bro. Like, we in a fucked up dynamic. So you gonna need to learn like the best shit I could do right now. It's like time traveling. Like I be time traveling with this nigga. Like nigga, you gotta learn this shit right now. Mind you, I be telling his brother too. I be like, Bobby, this nigga a Taurus. He like, okay, what the fuck that mean? I be like, Joe, just watch. He gonna start doing shit like that. Remember that video I put on the internet? He was like, right. There's a reason I did that shit. Come tell your ass right now. This nigga a Taurus, and I ain't gonna be on here like Kirk Franklin with this nigga recording me sitting there hollering on the phone like Kirk Franklin. Cause I got a Taurus son. Like, no, this nigga need to learn this shit in the gate. Like, I ain't going. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you gonna learn this shit too. Cause I say this shit up front. I'm telling y'all, goddamn it, like 10, 15, 30 years in the gate. Like, no, that file sat there for fucking 30 years. Then nigga said that shit way before back then. That nigga Taurus, he be tweaking. So, like, don't, you know what I'm saying? I tell that nigga all the time, like, you gotta learn this shit now. And he does. Like, you know what I'm saying? He do. Like, he kind of see that. Like, the other day, he got a thing, like, he just fall into these habits. He just repeat the same shit over again. Like, he'll just keep saying it over and over again. Like he'll be wrestling with his toys or whatever, and he'll just start saying this. Like he'll hear something on TV that sound cool, and he'll just keep saying it over and 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 over again. You know what I'm saying? His mom, you know what I'm saying? She won't check him. She'll just let him keep doing that shit. Like, but I know it's some Taurus shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, nah, nigga. So like I told Bobby, I was like, Bobby, when you see that nigga start doing that shit, remind that nigga he a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? So Bobby been training that nigga, and the other day. You know what I'm saying? This was this morning, man. It was this morning. I don't know what it was. He fell into. He was repeating some shit over and over again. And I was like, I told the nigga, I was like, nigga, stop. I was like, put on your coat. We gotta go. And then he said something like, he's like, Daddy, am I repeating it like that because I'm a Taurus? And I was like, the fuck? And I was like, yes, nigga, yes. He was like, oh, okay, I got you. And I was like, this shit fucked me up. I had to go roll a blunt. I was like, what the fuck this nigga said to me? I felt like I time traveled. I was like, holy shit. Cause I like Bobby, mind you, like I hadn't told that nigga, like me and him hadn't had no interactions like that. We was repeating shit and I had to stop that nigga. Like we hadn't had no interactions like that in a while. And this was the first time I had to tell that nigga to stop, you know, in a while. And like I heard him say that and I was like, damn, that nigga kinda, I was like, oh shit. So like he understand like he a Taurus and like they like you know when he start doing that type of shit, he understand that like those are those traits and like he needs to start. You know he has he can able to self reflect. You know at an early age. You know so I'm like okay cool like as long as Mike I ain't got to coach that shit. Bobby already out. My son Bobby he already out it. So like Mike he a Scorpio. He the total opposite. They total opposite. They on the axis. Like you know what I'm saying. They on the 6 month axis. So that dynamic as long as I train them, I was like, okay, if I can train him to understand his shit, and you can train him to understand this shit, that shit eventually is just gonna work itself out. That's you know what I'm saying. I ain't gotta like, you know what I'm saying. Like, okay, cool. So because they gonna be on each other ass, you know what I'm saying, and steel sharpen steel. So you know, I'm like, okay, cool. That shit gonna work itself out, you know. But when I saw what Kirk Franklin was going through, I could totally see he was totally untrained for what the fuck he was going through, especially somebody in a spiritual setting like him, an Aquarius, spiritual like we fixed, and especially you fixed in spirituality. This is a perfect dynamic for somebody like him to go through the situation he going through. Like you see what I'm saying? And I kind of felt bad in that regard. And they're like, you know, you that spiritual, they don't study astrology like that. They look at that shit like it's witchcraft and devil worship and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But you kind of see from our standpoint, when you look at certain Christians and shit like that, you kind of see why they need to understand certain aspects and certain dynamics like that. Because that's shit they fall into, especially you trying to put out, like being a Christian, you got to have an image, especially somebody like him, you dealing with an image. So you should be talking about fucking Derrick Jackson. Like, you shouldn't try to maintain this image and behind closed doors you into him with your motherfucking son, and mind you, his son came out and said some shit similar to the fact that he had molested him or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't believe. You know what I'm saying? I don't put it past the situation. You know what I'm saying? In the aspect that, you know what I'm saying? Like Kurt Franklin was somebody he had a porn addiction and shit like that. But at the same time, like I cannot see an Aquarius like fucking molesting. I've never even seen a file. No shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking Aquarius like molesting that shit. I just couldn't see that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I kind of see a lot of times Taurus be on some exposing shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of times in a situation like what's going on with Kirk Franklin, you know what I'm saying? I think Kirk Franklin probably got some bogus shit in his file, and then like you know what I'm saying? Like maybe his wife got into it, or you say like he didn't whooped his wife ass, or he made him whooped his son, like he was abusive toward his son or some shit like that under the untrained Aquarius, self righteous. I took that personal Michael Jordan PTSD act. You know what I'm saying? Kirk Franklin, I can see Kirk Franklin doing some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And that like his son is trolling that shit type shit. You know what I'm saying? Under the Taurus Act, that's what Taurus do. Like Taurus, like saying shit that fucking Pusha T did to fucking Drake when he put out that diss record. It'd be real shit. Like they be trolling real shit. You know what I'm saying? And the Taurus verse, like Taurus verse troll your ass on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think the way that dynamic was just set up, I don't think Kirk Franklin really just understood how much he felt his son as a Taurus, not just feeling your son, but also feeling your son as a Taurus male. Like you really gotta kind of like understand that dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And Kirk Franklin under the self-righteous religious Christianity Aquarius Act, he just didn't know how to like. He didn't know what the fuck he was dealing with. Like you see what I'm saying? That's a fucked up dynamic. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know what you're dealing with. You see what I'm saying? Two sons probably bump heads a lot. They're opposite. Yeah, of course, all the time. And that's why I train them. You know, I have them aware of each other's traits. You know what I'm saying? So they know. Bobby really get grasp it. Like I really should put him on here one day, and y'all should watch how me and him talk sometimes. Like he's very intelligent, like in the way that he grasps a lot of the shit I be breaking down. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is this shit? My cousin just texted me some stupid shit. Fucking stupid. What the fuck is this? What the fuck y'all talking about, man? I just try to tell a person what I think. Once I leave that alone, leave it at their feet. Hopefully that person takes it in and can say what I say. You can't force people to do anything. It's true. Same thing they tell Jehovah's Witnesses when Jehovah's Witnesses go knock on your door and you don't open the door, and or you open the door and say some rude shit. Get the fuck off my doorstep. I don't fuck with you. Fuck you. You Satan is white man. Y'all a couple that. You know what I'm saying? It instructs you in the Bible. They say something to the effect like dust, shake the dust off your feet. You know what I'm saying? And keep it moving. You know. So yeah, the Aquarius is kind of the same way. Like we tell a person what it is one time, we give them fair warning. They don't listen. We kind of keep it moving. You know. So yeah. Fuck else I was gonna say. I'm gonna tell y'all some wild shit. You know, file. You might want to file this too. I've been going through the transgender chamber. You know what I'm saying? Because I totally believe that transgenders are the fucking mafia. And mind you, I love transgenders, and they're like, no homo. Like, you know what I'm saying? No homo at all. But like, I love transgenders. I love what they represent right now as far as in America and what they movement is. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, like, you know, cause I you gotta go into the transgender chamber. Like, there's some shit that a lot of men are fucking really showing, like, a lot of men right now are showing that they are not capable of like updating their just the language, bro. Like not even and it like I said, even in the situation of like I don't know if I said it on the channel yet. I was watching Karate Kid the other day, like you know what I'm saying, and fuck is his name? Is it Creed? Was it Crease? They were talking about banning the whole fucking karate tournament. You see what I'm saying? And it was so they had this whole fucking like thing in front of the city. Like the whole city had to come out and they had to vote on it. What the fuck you call that when the whole city, like a city council, whatever? Like everybody come out to the city and like they vote on it, whatever. It was on like season 3 of fucking Cobra Kai, and they were gonna ban all the karate. So the woman who got up there and was like the arbitrary whatever, like the judge or whatever, was a transgender woman. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm saying Kreese knew how to address the judge by the correct pronouns, and they're like, so I'm saying, like, it's transgender woman, transgender male. So I'm saying, like, a lot of people don't even know the difference between transgender woman, transgender male. As far as okay, if it's a woman turned to a man or a man turned to a woman, a lot of men don't even know how to fucking say that shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know which is which. You know what I'm saying? So like when you was watching Cobra Kai, like so I'm saying, Kreese knew how to say that shit. Whereas like, you know what I'm saying, Daniel LaRusso, you know what I'm saying, he got out there, he kept saying it wrong. He kept calling he or she or whatever, and he didn't know that shit was offensive. Like, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers ain't update their language yet. It's like he was totally outside that whole loop. So like even though Kreese was a fucking dick, he ended up getting what he wanted only because he knew how to do the pronouns. Like he knew the transgender chamber. Like he knew how to talk to them. Daniel Russo was like a fucking like he was like oh shit like he it wasn't that shit he was a homophobe or a transphobe, he just didn't know like you know what I'm saying. And like even under that same act, like in 2021, like that's how it looked. Like it's like now it's like even when you don't know, you still like a transphobe. Like you know what I'm saying, because like you gotta understand like what the fuck transgenders is doing right now, man. Like they are literally trolling the whole fucking aspect of feminism as a whole. Like you know what I'm saying, and it's like a there's a whole new shit out right now called TERFs. Like I don't know if y'all know what TERFs is. It's called TERFs. Y'all should look this shit up. These are like feminists against transgenders type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, what the fuck? It's like lesbians against transgenders, because like you got certain set of lesbians who believe that um transgenders are um infiltrating women, like it's certain lesbians who don't see transgenders as women. You see what I'm saying? Because what they're doing to feminism. Like you see what I'm saying? So you got a man that can wake up and say he's a woman. Certain feminists look at that shit like, wait, hold on, bro. Mm-mm. You're not a woman. Like you see what I'm saying? And then like so like you got this going on right now. A lot of people don't even know like this is even going on. Because like they so far they just not getting into the whole aspect of even discovering like the transgender language at all. Like you know what I'm saying? Like also too like you know what I'm saying? In the same aspect, like you understand the law, like I said this on another video, like the law is kind of written for women, per se. Like the law is written to protect women more so than men. So you got a man say he's a woman, you kind of hack the fucking system. And that like you know what I'm saying? I'll give you a couple examples. They're like for example, like I'm a black male. You know what I'm saying? Like say I was in jail. Like say I never fucking I'm fully diagnosed PTSD. I'm a veteran. I can put my paper out where it show you. I got 100% PTSD from the military. My military PTSD. Fucking crazy shit. 100% stamp. U.S. government. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, so my wife come home. You see, we get into it. I beat the shit out of her. I'm going straight to jail. You know what I'm saying? So like, and mind you, it ain't gonna be no mental card to play on that. You know what I'm saying? Situation different. Police come over here. I say I'm a transgender, and I feel like my wife is emotionally manipulating me. You fall into a different demographic of law, like a gray area of law, because this happens a lot, like in lesbian situations, and they're like, and like lesbian, like believe it or not, lesbian had the highest domestic abuse reports. Lesbians, believe it or not, from feminism, like feminism, how you believe that like men, it's mainly men out here like beating women. In actuality, you do the stats. Lesbians have the highest domestic. They whooping more women asses than anybody. I was like, fuck, this shit blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute, this main women pushing the agenda is that they was whipping ass. Like, yeah, it was like some fucking Dark City and shit. I was like, this shit crazy. Why am I telling you this? Well, by the same aspect, let me take you over here just to bring you back. 87% of men report emotional, psychological abuse from their wife. It's different from like physical abuse. Like you're talking about emotional, psychological abuse. 87% of men report this in marriages. Right? 87%. No, there's only 82% of women. 82% might still a lot. I don't want to say only like that. That's still a lot. But 82% of women report emotional, psychological abuse in relationships. So there's more men that report psychological, emotional abuse in relationships than women. Okay, telling you that. Take you over here. Take you over here. Okay, why am I telling you that? Because it's 80. The number is intact. It's an intact number. You say, okay, well, let's talk about lesbians. Okay, what about lesbians? What percent of lesbians report emotional and psychological abuse? They say, well, it ranges. What's the range? It ranges from 24% to 90%. You're like, wait, what? But yeah, it's 20. So, like, what is the exact number? There is no exact number. You can't measure it. You can't accurately measure psychological and emotional abuse in lesbian relationships. Why not? Well, that's why we give you that number 24. Whereas with men, we can give you a direct number where it's like 89, it's like 87%. With the women, we have to give you the number 24 to 90%. We have to give it to you like that because it's happening on both sides. Like, how's that? What do you mean it's happening on both sides? Well, the emotional abuse and psychological abuse is happening on both sides because it's lesbian. It's two females. So, female is more able to identify emotional abuse and psychological abuse faster than like a heterosexual man in a relationship. Like average heterosexual man is going to see emotional psychological abuse as her just being emotional. Like, oh, she's just being emotional. Like they can't draw that line where like this is actually turned into abuse. Actually, she's not just being emotional; she's actually emotional and psychologically abusing. So saying where like a lesbian will be able to identify that twice as fast as a man would on both sides. So like they will literally say that, well, she's emotionally psychologically abusing me, and like no, she's psychologically abusing me. So they can't even see where the root of it even is because it's happening on both sides. So in same situations where like the police is called, where like two lesbians get into it and the police is called, so I'm saying a lot of times it be a situation like that. They gotta lock up both of them, like so because they both be fighting. So I'm saying so like they both gotta get locked up. So I'm saying so like to avoid that, what they'll do is they it's a gray area there. Like you know what I'm saying? Where like they basically it's two victims. You see what I'm saying? They can't identify who is the aggressor versus who is the victim. It can't be identified. You see what I'm saying? So in a situation like this, they kind of just calm the situation down, or like you know what I'm saying, take one of them to their mom's house or something like that, and then like just get them away from each other, and no charges are filed. So that's another reason why like a lot of lesbian domestic abuse don't even get reported. Or also even in the same situations where like one of them got to get taken to like a homeless shelter or some shit like that. Like a lot of times they can't even put on there that they're lesbian. They got to put that the abuse happened from a male when in actuality it happened from a woman. You know what I'm saying? But they have to put that it happened from a male because um, just the way that the data goes into the computer, if you put that as a woman, they can't even have a woman stay there. Like you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't say that because the data has to be reported that just the way that the form is set up, that the domestic violence scenario came from a male spouse and not a female spouse. So like the data has to go in there as a male. You see what I'm saying? And if you say as a woman, the data can't get taken right, so then you ain't gonna be able to stay there. So like they cover up a lot of like lesbian domestic violence. You see what I'm saying? In situations like that. You see what I'm saying? And like the police kind of notice. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like they be like, man, we can't arrest both of them. So like we just gonna try to like separate the situation. You know what I'm saying? And let it kind of do what it do. You see what I'm saying? So like you take this back to the transgender situation. You see what I'm saying? The it's kind of the same aspect in it. Like okay, if 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 I get into it with my wife, you're saying the police come over here and I say I'm a transgender. You see what I'm saying? I get more privilege versus if I say I'm a military veteran with PTSD. You see what I'm saying? Because the same reason that like me being a black male, if I was in jail, nobody's going to entertain the aspect that like me coming up in Chicago, the statistics of me probably being shot, killed, fucking poor education, all this. Like none of that shit is taken into consideration as far as me becoming a statistic. You know what I'm saying? If I went to jail or if I got killed or some shit like that. Versus like in the transgender act, you know what I'm saying? Was it like 40% of transgenders commit suicide or some shit like that? It's like one out of every four, some shit like that. Transgenders commit suicide. You see what I'm saying? And but it's still not, but like you look at the aspect of transgender, it's not labeled a mental illness per se. You see what I'm saying? So um, you say, well, transgender not labeled mental illness, but still like one out of every four of them commit suicide. You see what I'm saying? But they separate the suicide from the actual mental illness of the transgender. You see what I'm saying? They actually separate it, but okay, well no, that was separate from their mental. That's a separate mental illness from actually being trans. They actually have this dialogue. You see what I'm saying? Where you dealing with like a black man in Chicago growing up, dealing with crime, you know what I'm saying, going to jail, there is no dialogue. You're not gonna say, oh, well, there's mental illness there. So then he don't deserve to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? There's no like, same shit even with a fucking military veteran. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if I went crazy right now and fucking to start beating the shit out of my wife, you know what I'm saying? And I went to court and told them I'm a veteran PTSD, and I don't give a shit. Versus if I went in and tell them it was transgender, you know what I'm saying? And they gonna be like, oh well, shit, he got mental issues because he's coming up, he's being abused, he's been, fucking bullied, shit like that. Like that whole dialogue is already assumed, even if it ain't even if I ain't go through none of that shit. Like so, in mind you, like, you know, you look at me, you obviously see I'm not a fucking transgender. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm just saying, like, if I played the role, like you know what I'm saying, like if the dialogue was already there, like if I went and registered myself right now as a woman, and like you know what I'm saying, I was transgender, I get a fucking mental illness pass that even fucking military veterans don't get. Like you know what I'm saying, black youth don't get. Like you know what I'm saying, and like that's some shit that like to me, I respect this shit. I think that's like some cartel mafia type shit. Like you know what I'm saying, like you can't even like, and mind you, like, and it's more transgender killers than there are transgenders that's been killed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a transgender is more likely to beat the shit out of you than you beat the shit out of a transgender, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? But the dialogue had you think that, like, mind you, and I don't want to say it because it's a lot of transgender get killed. They motherfuckers be getting, like, so they just said this shit in the news. I think it was like a week ago, a transgender got killed. Like, you know what I'm saying? On some discrimination shit. You know what I'm saying? But I think America really takes that shit for granted because, like, just what yesterday or like 2 days ago was a fucking somebody was arrested and it was some country in Africa. They got arrested for homosexuality. They was like, "Yo, this man got arrested for." It came with my feet. I was like, "The fuck?" It's like, "Yeah, this man got arrested for homosexuality." I was like, "Where the fuck was this at?" I looked it up. It was in Africa. So I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And I was like, "Well, damn." And then like I was like, "Well, like we really take it for granted that like you know what I'm saying the rest of the world see this shit this way." Like Joe, like no, the rest of the world is not. They don't entertain none of that shit. Like you talking about like, countries over in Africa and in certain areas of the world, like they don't know none of this shit. Like you know what I'm saying. So like a lot of uh people in the LGBT was it TQ community. I'm pretty sure I say that shit wrong. A lot of motherfuckers think that like that the whole world is on the shit that they own. Like you know what I'm saying, they don't know like. And I think that's why it's so important for them to like push the narrative that like motherfuckers is transphobic for not understanding this shit. Cause like if you say the wrong shit, like Dave Chappelle got on his got on Netflix and told some transphobic jokes. I mean transgender jokes. And like it was pushing that line, like you kind of see like motherfucker, like it was like what the fuck, like a lot of people were shocked and couldn't believe he got away with that shit. Mind you, on Netflix, like he got on there and started talking about transgenders, but the joke was still in context. Like you know what I'm saying, but like you still kind of see like he even came back and did another joke talking about how like certain transgenders try to take his jokes out of context, and he made that into a joke, which was I thought was fucking brilliant. Like you know what I'm saying, but they have they like the mafia with the words. Like you can't even tell jokes. You know what I'm saying? That's even in context without them coming at you like, you transphobic, this and that. It's just like, okay, well, like, let me learn this language. You know what I'm saying? And like, the more I learned that language, the more I started to realize, I was like, holy shit, like this shit, no wonder. Like, the last thing you want is a motherfucker like who's not, like, who's totally outside that element, who's sitting around bored, going through his phone one day, like, you know what, let me see what the fuck this shit, they actually find out what the fuck that shit is. Because you gonna come back with stats like this, and it sounds totally different. You like, wait, hold on. Like, well, yeah. Like, but like at the same time, I feel you. Like, I love, like, Joe, I love, like, transgenders like the mafia, bro. You would never know they out here whooping more motherfuckers' asses and killing more people than anything, and have you thinking that they the victim. Like, it's shit, it's like, geez, you like, wait, what? Like, yeah, you like, look at the stats. Like me, mind you, like I'm a veteran. I'm 100% veteran, 100% proof. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen shit like, in situations where I walked in fucked up somewhere and just happened to miss I'm a veteran. They're like, "Oh, you're a veteran?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, thank you for your service." And they pull out the fucking red carpet for me. And I'm like, "Holy shit, I was nice." Like I can walk in fucking Golden Corral and get fucking free dinner every fucking Veterans Day and shit like that. Like I didn't see like motherfuckers pull out the red carpet like me under the Veterans Act. Like you know what I'm saying? But like me just fucking around on the internet trolling, man. Like one time I was like, man, like I put out a video a couple of whiles back. Like that wasn't even on trolling shit. I was on some real shit. Like I was like, Joe, I'm not a man per se. I don't even identify with that shit no more. Like I put out a video a couple months ago. And I was sharing that shit around. Like motherfuckers didn't know how to react to that shit. I was like, yeah, I don't respond to that shit. But then like I started joining groups and started training motherfuckers, trying to tell people like, yeah, I'm transgender. They was like, how the fuck, nigga, what? I was like, yeah, I'm transgender. They was like, what the fuck, you got a fucking beard, you still got a penis and shit. I was like, yeah, I was a different type of transgender though. They was like, what you mean? I was like, well, most of the transgenders, like I'm trolling, but it's real shit. It's like, yo, most of the transgenders that, when they go tranny, they identify with, like more European idea of what a woman is, like long hair and, acting super prissy and shit. I'm just a different type of transgender. They was like, what you mean? Well, the woman that's inside of me is like a lesbian. Well, not necessarily a lesbian, but like she like a stud. It's like what? Like yeah, it's like a stud living in me. She like women, she still like women. She like, but it's different. It's like it's like divine feminine. It's like what? It's like yeah, divine feminine. You don't know divine feminine. It's like yeah, when you actually like in touch with your, you understand the feminine. It's like it ain't necessarily took over my whole body. Like I understand it's a woman living inside of me, but she has divine feminine. So I don't necessarily need to go out of my way to like exude European feminine traits. It's more like you ever see like an African warrior woman, like an African like a warrior, like woman African, it's like warriors and shit. They walk around with their tits out and shit. They beat the shit out of a nigga. Like the chicks and like you ever see the Black Panther, like Okoye, like the mind you, she got the same birthday as me. I think her birthday on the 15th or the 14th. You know what I'm saying? I think her name Okoye from I might be saying that wrong. From Black Panther, the bald head black woman, like them dumb women. I was like, yeah, that's it. I was like, yeah, that's the woman that's living in me. It ain't like the the dudes go get the wig and like all super put on dresses and shit like that. No, I got an African black woman sitting there. It's just a whole different type of woman. You know what I'm saying? Fuck their head up, like you know what I'm saying. So it was like well yeah, so it's like divine feminine. It's a different type of trans. I'm a different type of transgender. So mind you, real shit. Like real shit. I got a poster of fucking Okoye, the actress, on my wall. Like, so that shit sits on my fucking bedroom wall for fucking 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there looking at her, like, I was like, man, like, I kind of feel like her someday. I feel like beat the shit out of somebody, worse than a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So but maybe I am maybe there's a woman sitting up in me, but it's a different type of woman. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'm talking like this on the internet, you know, and motherfuckers ain't know how to react to that shit. And I started to see, you know, most of the trend, most people identify as transgender, what they identify as a woman is not necessarily like a woman per se. It's like a European one. It's like the Western concept of what a woman is. Like, and then you go say you talking about feminism, shit like that. Like a lot of women say, like, fucking I don't know, like um Sandra Bullock. Like I remember when she got cheated on and shit, they were saying she was a fucking like a not a feminist per se, like a leader for women and shit like this. When she got cheated on by that dude, you know what I'm saying? He came out and said he was fucking like a Nazi or some shit like that. A lot of women get cheated on and shit like that, and they become like hero, like Beyonce when she got cheated on by Jay-Z. A lot of women were coming out saying she was like basically like a feminist, like a leader for women and shit like this, and like she was a feminist, like But then you got like so I'm saying, like when you think about what's going on in the rest of the world, you compare that shit to feminism. It's like okay, you go to fucking like Saudi Arabia and shit, like Benita sent me a video. Shout out Benita, she sent me a video. It was like a woman in Vietnam and shit. And like her whole fucking like she was like a mother of like a bunch of kids and shit. And like her husband got killed and like she was literally stuck on her own to like raise like a whole fucking village of kids and shit like this, like over in Saudi Arabia and motherfucking whole families being killed and the women be having to fucking raise a whole generation of kids by themselves and shit like that. And like like I said, like African women and African shit, and like them type of women. That's a whole different type of fucking woman, But they how you think that like the woman like is what you see over here. And like, okay, you're gonna get the fucking the long hair and women press their hair and like the same shit with tranny do. You see a tranny turn into like a trans man. I mean, a man turn into a trans woman. You know what I'm saying? Typically, you see them go for European traits. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yo, like that's not a woman, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, well, okay, what the fuck about women? You know what I'm saying? Women all around the rest of the world, fucking women in Africa, women, you know what I'm saying? In fucking Saudi Arabia and shit like this. Like you don't see them identifying that shit as a woman. Like you know what I'm saying? So like it be different ways motherfuckers be looking at shit. Like am I you like aspect of group identity? Like Jordan Peterson say, like it's not good to like force people into groups and shit. Like, well, this all context. This is talking. It gives you shit to think about. So it's not necessarily what it is per se. You know what I'm saying? I'm very 100% comfortable admitting that. Like what I'm saying is not necessarily what it is. There's always exceptions, to everything. What I'm saying. I'm just giving you, you need context to surround your thoughts. Just that kind of know what's what. You know what I'm saying? You can determine these things on your own, which I challenge you to do. My job is just to kind of get you to start thinking about these things. You know what I'm saying? Also go do the research, not just thinking about them, actually go do the research and what I'm saying, form your own opinions around it. You know what I'm saying? But When it comes to a transgender conversation, you're going to need to take a stance on this. If not, you're gonna get ran over. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the language, you know what I'm saying? And I position myself. I've gave you a lot of files. You know what I'm saying? I gave you a lot of things to think about. You can go research. You know what I'm saying? Um, I gave you a lot of ways to look at the situation and narrative down back then. Okay. Get them something to think about if somebody come at you. You know what I'm saying? In that way, because you will be tested on that level. You know what I'm saying? So something to think about. And it's real shit. Like I'm not just trolling. You know what I'm saying? Be real shit because like Aquarius whole perspective look like it's trolling, but it don't. It'd be real shit. You'd be like, okay, well, that's that. Like a lot of times me, I'll be looking like, okay, like do I feel like I'm a woman per se? Like, no. Like, I don't feel like I'm a woman's body. Do I identify with, do I have feminine traits? Like, yeah, every man has feminine traits. Do I understand what divine feminine is? Yes. Like, that's what divine feminine, when you're a man, you understand what divine feminine is. Actually, my personal belief is that divine feminine is for men. It's not for women because I've really yet to run into a lot of women who have divine feminine in their, like, the divine feminine principle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who have total spirituality, but still able to, not necessarily submit, but yeah, to submit to masculine energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be a woman, like a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to be totally like um like what they say, like a lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets. Man, fucking shit, I need some water. That fucking tequila's sitting wrong on me. But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Literally that, like you think of the Virgin Mary, you know what I'm saying? She had divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? And that she was a virgin. You know what I'm saying? But after she, had Christ, eventually she started having kids. So eventually, at some point, she probably had sex. So I'm saying, so to actually be the Virgin Mary, you know what I'm saying, to have that perspective, to actually be, still seen as a virgin, but even though you obviously still having sex later, and she's probably, between her and her husband, they probably, did every possible sexual deviant thing you probably done, but you don't typically think of like the Virgin Mary and her husband doing this. But she definitely probably went through every sexual experience that you've probably gone through as well, and what average people go through. So you don't necessarily think of it like this, but in the aspect you talking about divine feminine, it's literally both. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like somebody who can literally have that total feminine energy. Like a lot of strippers and shit have divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? You really don't see that shit too much, like on a day-to-day basis. But like a lot of women who do like like fucking camera, like cam, um, like fucking recorded, like OnlyFans and shit like that. A lot of them women and shit like that, like whores and shit like that, they be having divine feminine. You know what I'm saying? More so than like wives and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It be fucked up. But like, could they understand the dynamic of like, okay, it's also spirituality, but there's still a sexual dynamic aspect, like, you know, that's just understood. You know what I'm saying? And catered to. It's like, don't fuck that up. Once you fuck the attraction up, and you fuck the sexual aspect of it, like you fuck like certain women who understand that. You know what I'm saying? And keep that up for, and like at the same time be spiritual. It's very rare. You know what I'm saying? I run into this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare. But a lot of times women are attracted to divine feminine in a man. And then like when a man has divine feminine, and like, you know what I'm saying, he can identify, feminine traits in real time. And I just sit there and talk about it, but actually do it in real time. Like, somebody come in, offer to get the door for them. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a bunch of kids, like, you know what I'm saying, if you say you're trying to get in with a single mother, you know what I'm saying, you go over there and she got two kids then. You know what I'm saying? They watching how you interact with the kids and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like that's where divine feminine come in. Like if you ain't got no divine feminine, you're gonna be kind of fucking like clumsy in those types of situations. Like you say, interacting with the kids and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Some women find that cute. You know what I'm saying? Some women find that masculine. You know what I'm saying? Some women look at that shit as like, it is what it is. But to know, to be a man and know what divine feminine is, you know what I'm saying? It's better that you know than not to know. You know what I'm saying? It's better to know than not to know, because it's you be cohesive and more congruent in real life situations instead of being clunky and clumsy and like the average Joe, average man. You'll be taking more uh as your word is your bond more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So somebody you can trust, somebody you can listen to. Like, okay, that's good. If he said it, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be kind of seen more like that, then yeah, it's better to have divine feminine than not. You know what I'm saying? And be able to understand and go through these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Without tweaking. You know what I'm saying? Because average motherfucker tweak talking about shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be on point. So you definitely want to go into the training chamber. You know what I'm saying? Get that vocabulary and figure out where you stand on that shit. I'm saying? Because it's gonna help with your vocabulary, especially in I gave you a lot because you think about what I said. You know what I'm saying? You go back and rewind. You know what I'm saying? Just be up here for a couple of days. So if you go back and rewind, listen to what I said. You know what I'm saying? You get some good content. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get the fuck out of here, man. That Patron kind of sitting around. I think I need to get something to eat. I drank this whole fucking bottle. The whole shit. I started out at about 9 o'clock this morning. Now I got another bottle I'm about to crack. Well, mind you, I'm drinking like this only because it was a good day. You know what I'm saying? I had a really good day. Then some. I told you about the spot, man. We got the spot coming, and like we really got it coming. You know what I'm saying? It's coming real soon. So what the fuck y'all talking about real quick, man? Fuck y'all talking about? Have you ever been a therapist? Talk about that. Does feminism discriminate against men? Yes, it does. Really got it. The female tactics Michael just starts to he worked in a battered women's shelter for years. He's right. They would lie and say he was a male. Told you. You're right about that. Left my ass off. There's a woman living inside every man, and there's a man living inside him. Thank you. That's the point. Your man is thank you for a service. But you Blau. That's not how you said Blau. Nigga, my name is not Kung Blau. Blau. Blao. Blau. 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 You said Blau. Bilal. 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 Blah, blah, blah. Bilal. Bilal. How can I become more of a trusting and relaxing mind feminine around a man while having to take care of myself and my 14-year-old twins? I'm 48. How can I become, wait, what is it? How can I become more trusting and relaxing my feminine around a male while having to take care of myself and my 14-year-old twins? I'm 48. Depends on what your intentions are with the male. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound, because I could give you the wrong advice. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on what your intentions are. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it also depends on like what his sign is, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of variables. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, like I do want to give you an answer though. Like man, I believe you said you was an Aquarius woman. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? The thing about Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? Like learn when you can't sit still. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the best things I can say. Like learn when you tweaking. Man, listen to this shit. This is some good advice I can give you. Mind you, this is advice I can give any woman when you're dealing with men. This is mind you, this ain't the best advice, but this is mind you, I came up with this. I was sitting around thinking, I was like, that's some real shit. I was like, every woman kind of need to know this shit. When you dealing with men, just know this. Rule number one, you tweak. In the gate, you tweaking. Rule number one, you tweaking. Even when you think yo, not you yet, you tweaking. Just know this. And like in the gate, like dudes kind of looking at you like this. Like rule number one, you tweaking. Rule number two, you don't know you tweaking. Rule number three, people who don't know they tweaking usually don't know how to stop tweaking. You know what I'm saying? And rule number four is if you would have known you was tweaking, you probably would have stopped tweaking. You stick to them four rules. My like you gotta just keep telling yourself the same four rules over and over again. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like Joe, like a lot of men kind of think this way naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you're a Aquarius woman, you gotta kind of know when you tweaking. You know what I'm saying? And when to stop that shit on your own without somebody having to tell you that you tweaking. If motherfuckers constantly got to tell you, like you see some people constantly trying to correct you, so I'm saying you fucking tweaking, and you don't even know you tweaking, and like you need to learn how to like tell yourself you like identify when you tweaking and stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you if you trying to keep a man around, basically. Let me see. I have air placements. I'm highly sexual. However, I have a hard time trusting men to leave me because I had a bad divorce 5 years ago. Um, like I said, it depends on what your intent is with men. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, I don't want to get. The last thing I do is hate giving people the wrong advice. You know what I'm saying? But you know, because I can do that. Like, I can be ruthless. You know what I'm saying? I'm the wrong motherfucker ask for advice a lot of times, man. That's why I try to stay away from doing that shit. I'm like, yo, you don't want to ask me that shit. I'm gonna send your ass off. You know what I'm saying? But if you just like fucking, you know what I'm saying? then I don't know what your goal is. Like, you trying to get wifed up, you trying to have a dude staying there with you with your kids. You know what I'm saying? I know the Aquarius that should have fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't really know what your goals are. You know what I'm saying? But the best thing I can do is just identify the areas that you need to work on. You know what I'm saying? And where you tweaking and where you like. If you look at your divorce, you know what I'm saying? Try to figure out where you went wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? And correct that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're not listening, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times Aquarius don't listen because we think we know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you're not going through. It's not necessarily a divorce. You know what I'm saying? It's just that your husband was just another spoke on that fucking wheel. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just happened to be the dude that went through that. It's not him per se. He just happened to be the dude that went through that fucking drama with your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could have been fucking 15 other dudes and the exact same shit would have played out. You know what I'm saying? So like, you got to kind of look at that shit. You know what I'm saying? And the typical shit about Aquarius, like what we be tweaking at is, especially Aquarius woman, is that like what y'all be tweaking at is like y'all don't know that y'all be tweaking. Like, that's why I had to spell it out for you. Like, the one thing about mind you, like all women kind of like that, but like Aquarius women had this shit more than anything. It's like, Joe, you be straight tweaking, thinking that you not even tweaking. It's like, Joe, you are 100% tweaking, and like you feel because you feel justified in the shit you doing on principle. Like Aquarius kind of fuck up on principle. Like you let a whole principle fuck up some shit that ain't even there. You be like, Joe, that ain't even what the fuck it is, but you be sitting there arguing on the principle. Just because y'all disagree on the principle don't mean like, you know what I'm saying, that you what is I'm Sagittarius, Sun, Aquarius, Moon, Gemini rising. Oh shit, that's even worse. You got Aquarius Moon with Sag Sun. What I'm saying, it makes it even worse. Cause like you let a whole principle fuck up some shit. And mind you, like you man, like a Sag Sun, Aquarius Moon, that is like you are testing. You didn't even think the relationship was gonna go. I don't know, man. Maybe you just like strapped in and put on a seatbelt. Was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go on this ride." But like somewhere in the back of your mind, you kind of knew, like you knew that shit was like in the gate. Like you kind of like you knew that you ain't like that motherfucker the first time he did that shit he did, and like you kind of was just trying to be polite and you went along with it, like under the act, like okay, well, this motherfucker like me. I don't want to be alone, and like you kind of went along with it, like you kind of knew like that motherfucker, whoever it was, wasn't the one. Like at some point, and you just kind of went along with that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of that should be experiment. Like you be experimenting with men. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really see men as men. Like you don't really know what men are per se. Like you know what I'm saying? So a lot of like mind you, like a dude was telling me, man, the other day, he was like, man, a lot of women can't watch porn. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a lot of women that do watch porn. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to ask you if you watch porn or not. You know what I'm saying? But, like, a motherfucker was saying, like, he's like, a lot of women can't watch porn because they can't see shit how men see shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many women watch, like, porn. Like, you know what I'm saying? So many men spend so much time watching porn. And you be like, what the fuck is that? If you're a woman looking at that, you got to ask yourself at some point, like, okay, like, what the fuck is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, well, if you do, then, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of then you look at shit from like a male perspective, and then like, okay, well, which you probably already do. You know what I'm saying? So like, and then you got Aquarius Moon, that's even more masculine. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's a lot of shit that you tweaking in there that you just don't know where you tweaking it. Like from a male perspective, when a man sitting there looking at you, and you still got a male masculine mind frame, but you got a female body, you gonna think you're not tweaking, but you tweaking. You know what I'm saying? It's like you put a strap on, like you know what I'm saying, like if you like to put a strap on, like type shit, like you know what I'm saying, like certain sag women like have the idea of, like having a dick type shit. You know what I'm saying, like they just want to put like mind you, Rubina Rastavan I think says this shit, and I started seeing it more and more. It made more sense. It's like a lot of sags like in their mind kind of like have a dick, like you know what I'm saying. So like, but you still like if a man looking at you, he still see a female body, but you run around acting like you got a dick, so you tweaking, but you don't know you tweaking. Like that's it's like right there. Like right there. Like you know what I'm saying? So like on one half, if you don't know how to introduce like mind you go back to what I was talking about transgender and shit, like a lot of times trainees don't understand, they underestimate the shock of the next motherfucker. Like you know what I'm saying? They kinda look at it like you transphobic. A lot of sags be looking at motherfuckers like they sag phobic type shit. Like, oh, you sag phobic because I'm wild as hell, like doing shit I'm doing, like you think this or you think that. And it's like no, you gotta let a motherfucker be shocked type shit. Like you gotta let him like you can't under what is it called? Undermine the shock that you be giving men doing the shit you be doing because you still got a female body like you. A lot of women underestimate the female body, like, and what that shit do to the man mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how you could, like, you think of a man that can't dance. Like a man dancing that can't dance. Like, if everybody's seen this, like a white dude dancing. Then how it just look funny. That's how it look when a woman don't know what her body's doing to a man. I'm saying shit one time, like women, you see a man like dancing funny, say awkward, you doing stupid shit. Like, by your dude to still want to sleep with you. You know, like just like you might want to sleep with that dude, but it's like you know a dude that can dance, and you just like, man, that dude can move. Like that's how it look when a woman know what her body is doing to like to a man subconsciously when he's looking at you. Like, and a lot of times SAG just totally, not just SAG, but women in general totally underestimate that shit right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like a SAG is kind of like arbitrary as hell, like kind of unapologetically um masculine in the mind, but underestimating the fact you still got a female body and the dude just looking at the female body. So you fucking up. Like on one hand, you probably you can dance per se, but you it's like, mind you, I said this shit. Shit, I am fucking insane. So, like, what we got a concept we say, women like to do the robot. You know what I'm saying? It is like once we started saying this shit, we started seeing it more and more. Like you know, women like to do the robot. You know, and that like a lot of SAG women is this shit. Like y'all like to do the robot, and you're like, what the fuck that mean? You be like, well, like you imagine, like you know, back in the day, I used to go clubbing and shit. I used to go clubbing, and like you see that girl that you've been waiting to dance with all night, but you be nervous, and then you see some other dude dancing with her, and you be like, fuck, and then like so you feel like a dick, and then like. And then you don't know if that's her man or not, so you still be watching. You see another dude dance with her, and you be like, fuck. And you be like, that's not her man. So then you be waiting all night. And mind you, she be kind of looking at you, hoping that you approach her, and she be dancing with other niggas. You kind of know she ain't feeling you be going through this whole shit all night. You be listening to all of me like, I'm just wait. This is back when I was like, you know, fucking in my 20s and shit. And you be sitting around, walking around a fucking club all night, looking at different women that you want to dance with, nervous and shit, you know. And then eventually y'all actually start dancing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you like boom, y'all start dancing. You like, oh shit. And she still you be moving, it be the perfect dance. And she start grinding against you, and it be the perfect song. And you be like, man, I've been waiting for this shit all night. And you like, woo, and all of a sudden she just back up off you and start doing a robot and shit like this, like, and you be like, what the fuck are you doing? And she, and she looking at you like, ha 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 ha, and you like, the fuck, and it's like that shit. Like women like to do the robot, like you know what I'm saying, and like that y'all don't know that y'all be doing that shit like inside a man's subconscious, like shit'll be moving smooth as hell, and then like all of a sudden you start tweaking. You know what I'm saying? And it's like in a man mind, it's the robot. And mind you, like I started seeing this shit more and more, man. Like just the other day, man, a nigga sent me a meme. Like one of my niggas who understand the robot concept we was talking about. He sent me a meme of a dude. He said, it was, mind you, I don't even know if it was real or not, but it was just it was it was like, man, this shit we were talking about. It said, bitch, I subscribed to your OnlyFans. I paid you fucking $40, and all you got is a bunch of videos up here you doing the robot. I want my money back. It was funny as hell. And I was like, ah, shit. I was like, that's that shit. And then like I had actually saw maybe like a week later. I think it was How I Met Your Mother, or some shit like that. I was watching some show, and it was exactly that. Like they was dancing, and then all of a sudden the chick jumped back and she started doing the robot, and the dude was looking at her like, oh shit, man, like she tweaking, and like she thought she was cute, like she thought what she was doing was cute. It's like, man, you tweaking. You don't even know you tweaking. If you knew you was tweaking, you'd probably stop tweaking. But you don't know, so you gonna keep going. Like you know what I'm saying. And that's the best advice I give your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like learn with your ass tweaking. You know what I'm saying? Don't break for something smooth. Yeah, but that's hard for you to do. Cause like, you know, under the SAG act, you be like, man, I'm trying to get it cracking. I'm trying to keep it cracking. But it's like you already know, man, your body got it cracking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just sitting there like you gotta learn, like, man, SAG be doing too much. SAG be kind of extra, man. That's why y'all fuck with Virgos a lot. Cause like y'all kind of look at like motherfucking men like the wrong way, man. Like y'all look at men like average Joes. I mean, y'all fuck with a lot of average Joes and shit too. So like it be like a self fulfilling prophecy. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like SAGs fuck with a lot of Virgo men a lot of times because like Virgo men is extra. It ain't what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like some extra shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So like you kind of see that conundrum. Like, yeah, I know, I already know, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you think that's what it is, and it's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? SAG, like, y'all be on extra shit. You know what I'm saying? So you need a nigga that's extra to carry that extra shit with you, and then that's what it just get toxic as hell. You feel what I'm saying? So like, like, like SAGs look at Virgo men like that's men. Be like, yo, that's not men. It's a whole nother 11 type of archetypes of men. You know what I'm saying? But you look at that extra shit, like, because y'all be tweaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all be straight tweaking. And you need a Virgo nigga. A Virgo gonna sit there and tweak with your ass. He gonna tweak right back with your ass. And y'all gonna think that shit normal. Not knowing to like a motherfucking Pisces or like a motherfucking, like a Taurus. Like, they would never sit under no shit like that. That shit toxic as hell. Like, so I'm saying, it's like, man, chill out, man. Let me look at your titties. Let me look at your ass. Like, let me, like, bitch, you just gorgeous. Just sit there. Shut the fuck up. Cut some music on and just shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I'm saying? But in the SAG act, it's like, like y'all be like just like just going, like driving in. Put mind yourself with Aquarius moon. They mean you can't. You mean you can't sit still. And mind you trying to dominate the conversation too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to a man looking at you, you doing a robot type shit. It's like, man, like, you like, stop doing. Please stop doing a robot. Okay, how long you gonna do a robot for before we get back to dance? Okay, you can do robot. Go ahead, do robot. I know women like to do robot. Y'all love to do robot. Do robot, but like, how long till you gonna do robot before we get back to like just get in the group and just learn to identify when you doing the robot. And like, a nigga gonna try to tell you doing the robot too. Like, so it's up to you to listen. Like, he ain't gonna come out and tell you exactly like, well, you doing the robot. But like, a nigga got a way of saying certain shit, and like women got a way of just hearing it wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, but just know that like in his mind, he basically trying to tell you that you doing a robot. And it's like, you need to learn like how to stop doing the robot, basically. Like, learn to like talk without talking. Learn to talk with your body. Learn to talk with like music. Learn to talk with like, stop watching so many movies and start listening to music together and shit like that. Like if you watch porn together. You know what I'm saying? If that's what they into, you know what I'm saying? Also, like, it might, don't just have to be porn. Like, learn to read the Bible, man. Like, a lot of times people totally underestimate the Bible, man. Like, the Bible is ill. Like, when you know what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, learn to read the Bible with people. You see what I'm saying? Like, with men and stuff like that. Like, like we're talking about divine feminine. You see what I'm saying? Like, a woman that know the Bible, like, that's what you gotta understand. Like, people's wondering why Derrick Jackson was attracted to women. They look at the woman like, man, she ain't that pretty. I was like, man, no, that woman is actually fucking beautiful inside and out. And they're like, she know, like, mind you, she don't. I don't know if she know the Bible, but like, her testimony was just beautiful. Just the way she said it, I thought it was fucking beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, she loves God. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man loves a woman that loves God. You know what I'm saying? Especially if she is still sexual. You know what I'm saying? So like, never underestimate that. That's literally the best thing. Like, you look at a lot of women who do like belly dancing and stuff like that. You can watch a bunch of belly dancing videos and like the women, the way that they move in those videos compared to like twerk videos or like stripping videos, stuff like that. When you look at the belly dancing videos, it's more spirit. It's like a more spiritual to a man. Like it's like a spirit. Like, it's a spiritual experience and it's sexual at the same time. Versus like when you look at like a twerking or like stripping, you looking at raw lust. It don't you, yeah, you'll hit that nerve, but you're not gonna hit the same nerve that the belly dancer did. Or like, you know what I'm saying? So like, start looking at stuff like that too. And like martial, even like martial arts, or like certain dances like yoga dances and poses, like talking with your body per se, more so than, you know, talking with your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn to talk with your body. Like, Pisces women is real good at that, man. Like, Pisces women understand like how they whole body look inside the mind of a man. Like, they feet. You know what I'm saying? Like a man can see the feet of a woman. Like, a lot of times women just think like, you sitting there talking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, inside the mind of a man, if a man ain't seeing your feet, then he not inside his mind's eye. He needs to see your feet. When men fantasize about like Rihanna, they see her feet. They see her whole body inside their mind. Men fantasize about J-Lo, shit like that. They see her whole body sitting up inside their mind. Certain women, when they fantasize about their wife, a lot of times like that, you know what I'm saying? Certain men, like when their wife don't be on point, they ain't got no sexual, divine feminine shit like that. They just see their shoulders and like they see they talking face, and they see like, just like how you see me sitting here, it look like this inside their mind eye. You want to make sure they see your whole body, the whole fantasy sitting up inside the mind's eye. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times you gotta learn how to talk with your body. You gotta learn how to like. That's what TikTok is. Like, a lot of shit on TikTok. You probably like TikTok. That's what it's a whole different. Get good at TikTok. You know what I'm saying? My y'all suck at TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Are you trying to figure this? It's alpha shit. You gotta learn how to move, learn how to dance, talk with your body. You know what I'm saying? That's why TikTok is really separating a lot of the old people from the younger people. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because like the younger people understand this shit. You see what I'm saying? Aquarius energy is so strong that when you try to transmute the energy, it literally feels like a battle between life and death. Literally, Aquarius don't play. This is very true. We right there next to Pisces, man. People forget that shit. We right there. People talking about Pisces is the thing. Like, yeah, that's our fucked up brother. But we was the ones that actually got it, motherfucker. Believe it or not. Like, yeah. And that's so fucked up. It's like I say, fucking Cassandra complex. It's like Aquarius motherfuckers that know, but still get treated like the Pisces type shit. Like, no, we're not Pisces, motherfucker. They just next door. But trust me, we see the same shit that motherfuckers see. You know what I'm saying? Trust and believe. It be fucked up, man. Being Aquarius fucked up. Being Aquarius always fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, learn to talk. Like I said, learn to talk with your body and shit like that. You know. Um, also learn, learn to learn to stop being so extra, man. The one thing about SAGs is the worst shit. Y'all just extra as hell, man. Y'all already be beautiful. It's like if SAGs can learn a lot from Pisces, believe it or not. Like especially SAG women, y'all can learn a lot from Pisces women. Mind you, Pisces women are fucking retarded at the same time. So like not those aspects, but just the aspects of like just being a cool breeze and just like just sitting there and just exuding what you already exude. Like you ain't even gotta say shit half the time. Like a lot of Capricorn energy, like Capricorn, especially Capricorn men, they don't like a lot of talk. Like men, especially men in 2017, people men like to sit around and smoke weed. They don't like to hear a lot of talk. Like you beautiful just sitting there. So it's like learn certain like social gambits and shit like that, and just learn how to like if you watch porn, listen to the shit that the women be saying in the porn. Like listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying? And learn some of that shit. Say that shit. Like, if you wanna if you trying to welcome that type of energy. Like I said, I don't know what type of energy you trying to get married, if you just trying to have a bunch of niggas around, you trying to create a harem of men. You know what I'm saying? If you just on some some hot girl shit, you trying to, on some fucking Megan Thee Stallion shit, you just want a bunch of fucking dudes in your inbox, like it depends what you trying to do. But I tell you this too, the more clearer the vision is, the more clearer the outcome. The more hazier the vision is, the more hazier the outcome. You know, basic witchcraft shit. You check your intent. You know, that's what I always keep bringing back to me. Check your intent. Whatever, it depends on what you're trying to do. But on that man, get the fuck out of here. Y'all gonna be sitting there talking, getting high. Wait, hold on, what time is it? Maybe I do got a minute. That can't be the right time. Yeah, I get the fuck out of here. Yeah, about 11 o'clock. Get the fuck out of here. Pisces and Sag women share Jupiter, but Sag is masculine. Pisces feminine. Yep, that part. That part. That part. And mind you too, like, let me say this, get the fuck out of here. I know what's her name? Beyonce ain't a Sag, but she's married to Jay-Z. So like she kind of whores herself. I'm from Chicago, so I understand my words is not as modest as they should be. But I'm only saying this so you get the point. She kind of whores herself in a Sag way. That's where you see Jay-Z kind of fill that void. I've never been particularly attracted to Beyonce. I'm trying to think of a Sag one. Like you say, she with Nicki Minaj. That's a perfect example. Nicki Minaj kind of whores herself. Damn, that fucking curcumin kicking in. I don't know if y'all been taking that curcumin. Y'all saying on that video, man, that shit has been fucking changing my whole life. Shit is beautiful. But Nicki Minaj, the way she whores herself, in the same way fucking Beyonce whores herself, I've never liked that shit. It's masculine as fuck. But when you look at Rihanna, like the way Rihanna whores herself, it's more divine feminine. Even though it ain't divine feminine, it's shit on your subconscious more like divine feminine. And that it's more like a spiritual. Like when I look at like it was the same shit like when at the fucking Super Bowl, um what's her name? Fucking Shakira was up there doing her shit. Go watch the Super Bowl halftime show with Shakira and J Lo. You gonna see what I'm saying? Like J Lo, like a Leo, and fucking Shakira's Aquarius. But it's still kind of same principles in that like um, Shakira was way more divine feminine, and like she had like a spiritual side. So she had the kids out there, and then like she was still out there shaking her ass, and she was like, oh, she was still moving her hips. But then it was like yeah, the flowers and all of the symbols and shit like that. It was like it was way more of a spiritual sexiness. And then when J Lo came out there, she was on a stripper pole, and she came out there with the fucking big ass Puerto Rican flag, and they started moving. She started twerking and shit and shaking her ass around and shit like that. It was way more like Western. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like Shakira had more of a worldly sex appeal, whereas J Lo's was more like her hair was more done up like like a Marilyn Monroe, like a Western type woman. You know what I'm saying? And just me personally, mine used like a different dude in my own career. So like, you know what I'm saying? I was way more attracted to J Lo. I mean, Shakira's performance. I thought it was more classier. I thought it was more like a wifey. Like that's somebody you want a wife. I don't know shit about Shakira, but just as far as like that performance alone, like so as a man looking at that, like that was like divine feminine standing next to like a fucking thought type shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, and like it's the same yeah, it's more classy. And it's the same shit I was saying with like the like you go watch what's her name? Kira Lebed I can't even say it, man. That's the one you wanna her name is Kira Kira Lebediviz. I can't even say her word. But if you type it in, Kira, belly dancer, her name is Kira, 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 and her last name starts with Leb. You go watch a couple of her videos. You know what I'm saying? And you know, update your clothes to, you know, and like that type of shit into like, you know, that type like more of a spiritual, you know, with in sex appeal, like certain leggings and shit, like the certain women are to wear certain leggings and shit like that. That's got like, you know, the different colors, the chakra colors and shit. Like attach your spirituality to sex appeal, a certain aspect like tantra, things like that. You know, it's always good for women to know because a lot of shit can get exploited through porn. Like when you watch too much porn, you know what I'm saying? It fuck up your spiritual side. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of want to keep a good balance in it. You know what I'm saying? And that like, you know, that shit can get demonic. You know what I'm saying? If you watch too much porn, that shit can get turned into like demons and shit. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a check on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And you be fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So like you attract the wrong type of men around you. You know what I'm saying? So you want to keep a sense of that you can also do spiritual healing with sex. You know what I'm saying? That's what like tantra is. You can actually heal people with sex more so than drain their energy. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be a succubus. You want to be somebody who like gives energy. Another thing too, like about having sex without, like teaching men to have sex without having an orgasm, shit like that. Like a lot of women don't know about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But you can start just, you know, teaching a man about, you know, his kundalini and actually practicing that with a dude. Like a lot of women are whores, they be whoring, but like you know what I'm saying. It's another thing to find a woman that's like a who understand like how to do sensual sexual tantra and shit like that. You know what I'm saying. Actually go through that with a dude. You know what I'm saying. That's like you know what I'm saying. Most men are looking for that. They don't even know that they're looking for that. You know what I'm saying. That's what most men are actually. Like you look at shit like Derek Jackson, and you look at the conundrum. He's sitting up there talking about Jesus and all that type of shit. And you turn around, run around, fucking 5, 6 different women on his wife, and you like a lot of women, a lot of men go through this they just never had the right woman or right partner like to discuss these things with and to like go through the practice with. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if somebody who you know, if you follow my page, you already probably you know type of sexual and spiritual inclined. So you kind of forge it into an identity, and you know what I'm saying. Pray to pray away, you know, all of the negative energy. You know what I'm saying? And keep everything on the spiritual side. You know what I'm saying? Read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And keep things moving more toward the light, more so than the dark. You know what I'm saying? You should be good to go. Yeah, yeah, more healing than raping yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to hurt yourself. You want to heal. You use sex to heal. You ain't got to bust every time you, you know what I'm saying, have sex. You know what I'm saying? You can heal each other. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different experience. When I'm dropping more videos, I don't know, man. I don't. I'm gonna do some more videos. Yeah, I told them we set up a whole nother platform. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of this these videos is, one thing, but like I really got something big coming, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't really know. You know what I'm saying? So like I be kind of stuck in between that shit. And mind you too, I said before, like the why I hate videos, I put that out based on a need for myself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of video I didn't do, like, Libra. I did why I hate Libra, why I hate other signs, fucking like Taurus. I didn't do why I hate Taurus. I didn't do why I hate Libra. What's the fuck else I do? I didn't do why I hate Leo. Because I didn't really have that much content for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them type of um, bloggers to be putting out content like that like I ain't really gone through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was researching the other ones, I was researching that shit because that was shit I was going through. And there's people around, people I had to deal with. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have to deal with too many people on those other signs and the negative violence, so I ain't really had to go sitting around researching that shit for hours on end like that to understand what the fuck I was dealing with. So I'm saying, but if some situations approach each other, then yeah, a lot of times I do it. Mind you, I still know a lot more about all the signs. I probably could do that shit, but I don't know. I've never been that type of blogger. Like I don't be putting out shit just for sake of content. Like everything I do has kind of a purpose behind it or like a reason behind it. You know what I'm saying? And it just hasn't reached that point. But not that I'm saying that I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? I'm just different. But uh, it remind you too, man, because like I see a lot of people who do videos, man. They used to put out killer content, and you start to see like, okay, like people jump on that, they be making money. You be seeing people getting $50, $100, $200, shit like that, and that's how they make their money. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta keep doing that shit. Mind you, I used to DJ at the strip club. You see what I'm saying? So like, when I used to DJ at the strip club, a lot of strippers in there, they had to keep stripping. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't make no fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, and you get them stuck, they were stuck there. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of like them, the same shit. Like, I don't want to be fucking stuck making YouTube videos and depending on that to make money and shit like that. I was like, hey, fuck that. Like, I make a little money doing this shit, but like, I don't even have time to cash that shit. That shit probably just sitting there. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it like that, but like, like it's sitting there. Eventually, I could cash out if I wanted to, but like, I don't even think I've ever cashed out on my YouTube money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not, you know, I get on here to help myself, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Yeah, eventually I will be putting out videos. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a content creator like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. Yeah, I got a text coming through. I get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy K-Blao Hood X. You know what I'm saying? Sign up for hoodx.com. Man, y'all can do me a favor, make sure you listen to Hood X Radio. You know what I'm saying? Hood X Radio. It's myradiostream.com/HoodX. So you can go to hoodx.com, listen to fucking Hood X Radio. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you, man. This is no cap. This is no cap. Hood X Radio, you know what I'm saying? We do suicide radio. It is literally, mathematically, the best radio station you will ever hear in your life. By math standards. Like, by standard. Like, just please, let's trust them. You cut the shit on tonight. You cut it on tonight. But it played 24/7, 365. We didn't program that shit. It's literally, I don't even know if I gotta go check, make sure it's on. I'm saying, as soon as I'm done, make sure it's on. But man, listen to Hood X Radio, man. I'm trying to tell you that shit is lit. It's the most lit radio station you will ever hear. This is no cap. Every person I say this to, they be like, man, you know when you said that was the best radio show you was absolutely. I was like, nigga, I told you. This has been confirmed by hundreds of. This is literally the best radio station you will ever hear in your life. You know what I'm saying? Hood X Radio. You know what I'm saying? It's myradiostream.com/HoodX. You know what I'm saying? Or you can just go to hoodx.com and click on Hood X Radio. You know what I'm saying? Check out Hood X Radio, man. Make sure you sign up for hoodx.com. If you ain't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Click like, share the video, get the likes up, man. Look out for your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all share these videos, get it out there. Alright? Get out of here. You did.